Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Gibberpish Podcast. This is Colin, reporting in with a quick editorial introduction to the show. Now, in today's episode, at around about the 2-hour mark, we begin discussing the issues surrounding Vic Mignogna, a popular American dubbing voice actor, and his current allegations against him regarding his inappropriate behaviour at conventions. Now, at the time, this was, or actually as we were recording, this was still a subject that was very much up in the air. The current debates on Twitter had been started with Rooster Teeth removing him from Ruby, one of their flagship shows, and severing all ties with him. And the lack of information caused a firestorm debate on Twitter, as these things tend to do. Dom and I decided to actually look into this subject and start talking about it to try and parse out some kind of teaching moments, I guess, with regards to what had happened, what had been discussed, how it was being discussed, and what could be done to learn from these experiences. Because we think the situation has been handled poorly on a couple of sides. And a lot of what we came to the conclusion of was a policy of kind of wait and see what would happen. And unfortunately, during the recording, Funimation released a statement saying that they were removing their ties with Vic Mignogna, which is a big twist in this, and mentioned that they had performed an investigation. The end result of which was that they would also be severing their ties with Vic Mignogna. For an interesting note, we actually timed this out, and I worked out roughly when we stopped talking about the subject and moved on to our showstopper. And it turns out that we would have actually finished saying the phrase "we need to wait and see" at about the same time Funimation posted the following on Twitter. And I quote, "Everyone, we wanted to give you an update on the Vic Mignogna situation. Following an investigation, Funimation recast Vic Mignogna in Moreau's Mononokean Season 2. Funimation will not be engaging Mignogna in future productions. Part of our core mission is to celebrate diversity of the anime community and to share our love of this genre and its positive impact on us all. We do not any kind of harassment or threatening behaviour being directed to anyone." This was edited to, "We do not condone any kind of harassment or threatening behaviour being directed at anyone." So although this was the kind of thing that we were actually looking for to kind of give closure on a viral outrage situation, we unfortunately missed the deadline by mere seconds. However, we do still think that there is merit to what we discussed in the podcast, so we're leaving it in, and as I say, a timestamp will be left down below with a more accurate description of when this discussion starts, just in case you're interested in that part of the show specifically. In the meantime, on with the show. Welcome to the Gibberpish Podcast. Well, we might be in the midst of anime's deepest, darkest Twitter controversy, but we're here to talk gibberish, aren't we, Dom?
Yep, we are. It's a point I don't want to be in, but it's a point I nevertheless find myself in.
It's a moment started with speculation, rumours, and it's led to controversies and debates and downright accusations of lying. But Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Season 2 has been announced! We are here in the moment living our lives as best we can. Aren't we, Dom? Dom has no idea what that was.
I have no idea what the fuck you are. You are talking about.
I got the DVD or the Blu-rays for Season 1 right there.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Oh, by the way, there's also the Vic Mignogna thing, but we'll get to that. That's not important. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's just that.
Let's start with fun stuff.
Yeah, let's go high then low.
High then low. So
low.
So low. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is actually the exact thing you want to see after you spend a day reading up on what's going on in Vic Mignogna world. So he, the Dragon Maid story is very simple. It is the idea, there's the whole thing of like it's the Christian fable of like the mouse pulls the thorn out of the lion's paw.
Yeah.
Same thing, but scaled up to be people and dragons. So Miss Kobayashi goes off in the mountains when she's drunk as fuck, meets a dragon. She's like, awesome dragon, because she's drunk as fuck.
Sweet.
Sees the sword stuck in its back and takes it out to be to be a total bro about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And the dragon agrees to be her maid.
Okay.
Because why not?
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
13 episodes of the most like grin-inducing anime follow of just like joy. It is non-stop, just sheer joy. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I watched like the OVA that was included on the Blu-rays and like one random episode just at the weekend before the announcement, and was just like grinning uncontrollably. Like, this is the nicest show I've ever watched. Nothing goes wrong. Nobody gets hurt. Nobody is in peril for more than like 5 minutes, and it's all resolved at the end. And very nice. But season 2 was hinted at, and it was quite funny because Crunchyroll, I think it was like one of their foreign language accounts, tweeted it out when they shouldn't have.
Oh, right. Probably Italy. They always fuck up.
It's always the Italians.
It's always the Italians.
Them pesky Italians. But they had like a tweet went out. Somebody copied the link to that tweet, didn't screenshot it. And yeah, screenshots can be faked, but the link becomes dead when Crunchyroll deletes the tweet. So you have one blog saying, dude, we saw it. Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Season 2 coming out this year. Late 2019. We're going to get Season 2. Fans rejoice. Then the tweet gets deleted, and now we just have some random weeaboo saying it's coming out, and nobody believes them. Because we've been tempted by this before. We've been tempted by it a lot recently. But now actually we do have confirmation that, yes, we are getting a Season 2.
Nice.
So, nice. More chibi dragon.
It's always a good thing when anime shows that people like quite a lot, because like I said, like it's been said a few times in the past, I go to a few cons and I always see people dressed up as the main character, Lukoa.
Lukoa's not the main character.
Oh, is she the main character? She's in it.
She's in it.
Is she not the titular dragon maid?
Titular is the correct word. Emphasis on the tit.
Yeah, I'm glad that you picked up on that.
Yeah.
But seen quite a few people cosplaying as her, so I assume that people they like this show, and like you said, it's just a nice warm bath of an anime. People just like, oh, it feels good.
She's an easy character to cosplay because her outfit is just a black tank top, a baseball cap, a wig, and some jean shorts, and you get to hug people because that's all she does. Is she shows up and hugs people, and you have a long series of jokes of her tormenting a young boy because she's heavily endowed. So you have a very large busty woman hugging a boy who's too young to appreciate boobs. He just wanted to summon a demon to help him become a powerful wizard. He ended up summoning a dragon who was like, I'll just stick around for the walls. That's the entire premise of her character in the show, is just to show up and be like, alright, fuck it.
Why not?
Why not just be a dick to this little like 10-year-old kid who has no idea what a boob is, and is being like constantly smothered and running away screaming, don't hug me, demon. And you're like,
black demon.
Dude, do you know what is smothering your face right now? In about 5 years, you're going to be kicking yourself.
In 5 years, you're going to be doing the chasing.
So, yeah, there's Lukoa. The main characters are Miss Kobayashi, Toru, who is literally just obviously Thor, the dragon representing what becomes the god of thunder in human mythology.
Yeah.
And then Kana, which is the tiny little child in the white dress you might see every now and again. Totally adorable, like little weird family unit. And just like, as you say, the entire show is a warm bath. So season 2 coming not soon enough for me. So yeah, that was my best news this week. What was your best news this week? Share the joy, Dom.
My best news this week is that we got an update to Dragon Ball FighterZ. Dragon Ball FighterZ Season 2, and I personally could not be more pleased with how Jiren and Videl turned out.
Yeah.
Jiren is exactly what you think he would be. He's a fucking powerhouse. He's an absolute tank of a character. He can... I mean, I guess this is technically the Here Comes a New Challenger section.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. I need to get a soundbite for that. If someone can point me in the direction of a royalty-free soundbite that sounds just enough like Street Fighter 2, Here Comes a New Challenger, someone can point me in that direction, that'd be great. But yeah, Jiren, he plays just exactly how you think he could. He's just all about the super armor, and he's all about just crushing like big physical attacks. And he has a combo that I call the snooker combo, because he hits you up into the air, hits you with just a regular A button blast that sends you across to one corner of the screen. He can then warp over, hit you down, and go diagonally across the screen. He can then warp down and hit you the other way.
Shit.
Obviously, that's not spammable. Once you do the kind of 4 loop, you have to down reset. But technically, if you could reset and get back to the top corner quick enough with the character, you could technically just loop them.
That would result in serious brain damage.
It would result in game breaking. But Jiren, a fucking great character. His super combos are fucking awesome to watch.
Yeah.
He has one where his first one is he just does a massive sort of uppercut punch and like energy comes out.
Yeah.
Another one is he does a big kind of destructo disc, but it sticks in the ground and spins.
All right, cool.
So it becomes a bit of a stage hazard. And his level 3 is a command grab, so he just grabs them and just basically nukes the place with a punch. Like you see the big like mushroom, not like kind of energy dome expanding through the stage. And again, it's just really fun to watch.
My question about him though is because the key point of fighters is that it is well balanced.
Yeah.
How is he balanced? I'm guessing speed.
He's balanced because he's really, really slow.
Okay.
If you've got a character like Gotenks, a character like Adult Gohan or Bardock or Beerus can get in there and shred him.
Okay.
But if you get caught by Jiren, you're fucked.
Okay. Because that was the thing in the show was that he was a tank. You could probably outpace him if you were powerful enough.
Yeah.
But in the show, he was not going to stop. He was going to just tank through whatever you've got, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because he's there in your face, and his fist is the size of your chest.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
2 things that I don't like about Jiren in Fighter. One, it's the same problem I had with him in Super. His overall design.
Very simplistic.
Very simplistic, very boring, very kind of... You remember when we were sort of teenagers and we'd go to the local fair day in Bo'ness and you buy the inflatable aliens?
Yeah.
It looks like one of them just with muscles. It's very boring, very plain, but I suppose it's meant to contrast Goku, who in his later transformations gets, he gets the shiny red aura on top of the blue aura, the Super Saiyan Blue, that kind of thing. It was a clear contrast, so I understand why they did it. I'm still going to have fun playing the character design regardless.
Quick aside though, who signed off on Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken? Somebody saw that mouthful and said, yes, we will approve that use for the show. That will be a thing that will happen. Personally,
I think it was a good little callback because Kaioken was meant to be this big thing before Super Saiyan. Then Super Saiyan came along and just went, nope.
Useless.
It's just like, oh, you get a 2 times boost, 10 times minimum. I'm going to power up more and it's going to go up and up. But yeah, it was a good callback for me because Goku still has that, and now he has Super Saiyan Blue. How about he combines the 2 and just becomes a walking megaton bomb?
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. The other problem I had with Jiren is his alternate costumes look like shit.
Well, I mean, his main costume is like black and then like a red bit.
Yeah, like a red sort of V like going down.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, what can you do with that as an alternative costume?
Yeah.
I'd like for it to be like 6 just different colour swaps and then one where he just has a weird fancy hat for no reason. That'd be amazing.
It's just all these different colour swaps, then his 7th colour is just Mrs. Nesbit from Toy Story.
They call me Mrs. Nesbit.
Now I'm sucking down Darjeeling. He's like beating the shit out of you with a teacup. That'd be great. I'd watch the fuck out of that. Speaking of Toy Story, did you see the little Super Bowl spot for Toy Story 4?
Yeah, I saw, I didn't see it because I went and watched it, but then came back to YouTube to watch the important stuff. And yeah, Toy Story 4 is pretty good.
Yeah. I like the fact that Key and Peele are in there. It's just like, to infinity and my foot.
They've actually been advertising those guys more than the main Toy Story thing because you can show that and be like, guys, check it out. Key and Peele are in this
Key and Peele are in there.
And it, that'll sell tickets.
Yeah.
Sold my ticket already.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see it. Just for completeness' sake, because I'm hoping this is the last one they do. Just finish it at 4 and just let them die.
See if you space it out, I wouldn't mind. Every couple of years just coming back for a new story, I wouldn't object to that entirely.
Yeah, I suppose it wouldn't be too bad. But then again, I think 4 comes out next year.
I think it's this year.
Yeah. Just so they
if they've got an advert in the Super Bowl this year,
it'll be this year.
To be out this year.
Then again, by the time Toy Story 5 comes out, there's every chance we'll be very mid-30s. Probably still continuing or more focused on careers than anything else.
Yeah.
There might be other things that come up when Toy Story 5, but yeah, I suppose I agree with you there. If they do it right and just space them out, it could work. But I'd want them to... It could work, but I don't want it. I don't want it to give it the option. I'd rather they just end it. Put the toys away.
It's the horrific idea that Toy Story 5 is Andy as like a businessman.
I thought you were going to say Andy was the Terminator or something like that. I have to go back and kill.
Andy's the Terminator for some reason. He goes back in time to just murder Buzz Lightyear. And everyone has to try and save Buzz, but because Andy's there, they can't move. So they're like, what the fuck do we do?
We can't move.
No, I had the horrible idea that that Andy is a businessman and he's mid-30s and he's totally washed out. He doesn't give a fuck anymore. And then he's just like home drunk one night and he just sees like Woody's hat and just has a mental breakdown.
He's just
That's
sitting
the
there.
worst thought I've ever
He's just
had.
sitting there. He's just sitting there with a bottle of whiskey in his hand. He's just holding Woody's hat in the other, just going, "This is when times were good.
I used to be a cowboy. Now I'm a nobody. And
You
just
were
like,
my favourite deputy."
why have to be a fucking space marine? And then we just like we see him waking
You
up.
had a
and it's
friend in me.
like, Andy drunkenly yelling to old
Just singing
quotes.
Randy Newman at the window. You had a friend in me.
And then just the end of the movie, it's just like it cuts to like Buzz and Woody in a vent. Like, what the fuck? What did we just watch? What was that?
The last thing you hear in the movie is just a door slamming and a chair creaking.
It's a single gunshot.
He's sitting there going through his old toys. He just like picks up the little phone. It's just like, hold on, let me phone suicide prevention hotline. The cow goes moo.
I forgot this was a toy too.
I just want to go.
I think I know. I'm going to just delete this out of the podcast. We're going to make the world's greatest Toy Story short.
The most gory. Like, Toy Story 10. Andy's finally gone. Fuck. What we Dragon Ball FighterZ. Oh god. I don't even want to talk about Videl anyway. I want to keep seeing how far we can push that Toy Story 5. Fuck.
No. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Jiren's an unstoppable tank who
Yeah.
should not be referred to as Mrs. Nesbit for obvious reasons.
Yeah, for contractual reasons, we can't call him Mrs. Nesbit because Walt Disney's got better lore than I could be. So, but yeah, the other character that got in Dragon Ball Fighter Season 2 was Videl with the Great Saiyaman.
Oh yeah, you said Saiyaman pops in as like an extra like alternative like super attack or something like that.
Yeah, like he has some kind of assist attacks. Also, he is mapped to the A button, and the A button is usually projectiles. And because Videl, she hasn't quite harnessed the whole key power thing. She doesn't have projectiles. She doesn't have
like
energy.
5 episodes to learn how to float.
Yeah, she doesn't. She can't do the energy projectile. So if you push A with Videl, Gohan just comes out and punches you.
That makes sense.
It's pretty cool. And then for certain other attacks, Gohan will come in and do a couple of moves. For her level 3, her and Gohan do a kind of team beat 'em up type thing.
Yeah. I like the idea if you just like you randomly push a button and Gohan pops out and you just start battering people back and forwards.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And she's got the counter where she just stands still and says, "Get serious," or something like that. She obviously gets knocked on her ass, and Gohan just goes Super Saiyan 2 and hits him with a Kamehameha. But she's more of a kind of dash sort of jump character.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's more of a like high mobility character. Very, very squishy. If you get caught in a couple of combos, her health is gonna drain away quickly, but she can get in and do a lot of damage very quickly.
Yeah.
And with the Gohan with the assist of Gohan, she can deal damage very, very quickly. But the main drawback to her is that she has no projectiles, with the exception of Gohan, who technically, it's weird to say that Gohan is Videl's projectile.
Yeah. He's a mid-tier projectile, let's
Yeah.
be honest. Especially during the Saiyaman arc.
Yeah, during the Saiyaman arc, and then further into Dragon Ball Super when he becomes literally just there.
He's a doorstop at best.
Yeah, he's one of those little boxes that people used to put the milk bottles in. We finished with this one. Oh, cool. Gohan, hold this.
I mean, it's technically a doorstop, but sometimes the door slides shut again anyway.
Yeah.
So, fuck
We
it.
don't really need them all the time.
It's good to see that the design of the characters as playable characters fits the design or the ethos of the characters in the show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be hard to translate 30 years of Dragon Ball at this point
Yeah.
and make it fit into a playable game.
Yeah, I like I think that is the main challenge, and I think that's what the director of this game is doing quite well. She has stated from the get-go that she wants to be as faithful to the show and to the ideals and the concepts of the show as humanly possible when she's making this game, and for the most part, she has been.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's taken certain liberties with some characters, like Beerus.
Krillin being usable.
Dude, Krillin's one of the best characters in the game.
See, that's the problem. She's
Yeah.
faking it at this point.
Yeah, obviously she's boosted certain characters. She's heavily reduced other characters. Like apparently Gotenks was nowhere near what she wanted him to be.
Okay.
She wanted Gotenks to be better than he is. But then she kind of thought, oh wait, why don't I add in the fact that Gotenks was an arrogant fuck, and then use that to kind of drop his power level a little bit.
Okay. I mean, well, the thing is that like Gotenks is a really divisive character in
Yeah.
the fans. Some people love him, a lot of people would really like to see him hit by a bus, and then
Yeah.
another bus, and then another bus.
Just
And
a
then
series of buses.
Yeah, a procession of buses straight to the face.
Yeah, I can see why. He was kind of he was touted as, this guy's going to save the Ark. Oh, him. Right, how is he going to use them? Oh, wait, he's down. It's Goku. This is who's going to finish the Ark. It's Goku.
Oh, it's Goku time again. What a surprise.
Oh, wait, no, Gohan's here. Oh, wait, no, he's gone.
No, what were you eating again?
Yeah, it's just, oh, wait, there you go. Gohan, he's back to being the doorstop again. That was another wasted potential in the show. Like, Gohan getting the whole training with the Z-Sword, then
The
he goes
ultimate
to,
training, yeah.
then he goes to fight Super Boo. Has him on the ropes for most part and just becomes an arrogant dick.
It's weird that the arrogance is always what gets the characters, and
Yeah.
Goku's just too stupid to have that.
Yeah, Goku's got brain damage.
I don't think we should talk about it if we're good. Just chat about Dragon Ball. You can't see the Broly movie. So
Yep.
we won't be talking about that for a while until you can in
Yeah.
May.
Yeah, the 22nd of May is when the Blu-ray comes out. I've already pre-ordered the minute I seen it pop up on my Zavi account,
Okay.
which I didn't fucking know I had.
I think I remember them.
Yeah, because there used to be Virgin, like the Virgin store,
All right, yeah.
and then Virgin Media obviously came a thing where we don't need stores anymore. We're focusing on TV, internet, and mobile
Damn good
phones.
broadband speed.
Yeah, we're going to focus on that shit. We don't need like, record stores or anything anymore. So then they got bought over by Zavi. Then Zavi just
they
couldn't
used to have
disappear.
Virgin Records, didn't they?
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
fuck.
Virgin Cola as well, which is disgusting. I'd sooner punch myself in the face repeatedly.
I think I've tried that.
It was fucking horrible. Used to get it in Farm Foods, one of those little like freezer stores that used to kick
Yeah.
out. In
I
fact,
know
they're still
Farm
there.
Foods.
Yeah, they're still there.
The Farm Foods down in Bowness is actually pretty good.
Yeah, they used to get about 2 litres of Virgin Cola for 90 pence. It's disgusting.
Jeez. I mean, if you've got enough vodka, anything tastes good, but that might be a
Yeah,
stretch.
if you're drunk enough, anything will taste nice.
Talking about like Virgin stuff and gaming. I've got back. I was off for a week, so I got really into gaming just in time for Apex Legends and the Division 2 beta.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Apex Legends.
Apex is great. Like I don't enjoy battle royale games. I don't enjoy first person shooters. I'm really bad at them. Apex makes me feel good about myself. That's impressive. That's a feat of engineering.
The one thing that has stopped me from playing Apex Legends is the fact that it is made by the people that made Titanfall. Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Using most of the assets from Titanfall. Again, not a bad thing. It's the fact that there's no Titans in it. Like, you're using all the assets from Titanfall. Why not just bring the giant robots in?
The thing is that
Let's go the full fucking insanity. 60 players all walking about in mech suits.
you don't need that level of insanity
Server crash.
when people have the ability to use super attacks.
Oh, right.
Because it's a blend of, I mean, the developers are Respawn, and those are the guys who broke off from Treyarch, I think it was, or Infinity Ward. I'm trying to remember who it was. Like, this is like the big gaming drama like 6 years ago, before they made Titanfall, and when they split to become their own studio, it was the whole like hell's opening up drama of gaming at the time.
I think you're right. I think it was either Activision, Treyarch, or was it Frostbite?
Frostbite's the engine used for Battlefield. So,
Right.
but they were like the core development team on one of the last great Call of Duties. And the pedigree shows. I mean, not just with Titanfall being a little bit like, you can see where they've got like the kind of lineage from Call of Duty all the way through, like refining it to these smaller games and more free moving games from like the Titanfall series, and then into this. This thing is buttery smooth. Like,
Nice.
holy crap.
It's free as well, isn't it?
Yeah, free.
Yeah.
Free to play in the truest sense of the word. And apparently making EA a shit ton of money because of the microtransactions. Yeah, there's
Yeah, I think
loot boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
But you didn't pay anything for the price at the door, and you can unlock everything if you play long enough.
Yeah, that's why I think that's why I don't agree with Fortnite. Fortnite's all just, you can play as long, you can get random drops, or you can get loot boxes and pay for it. No, I'd rather earn it in game.
Well, it's the same thing. You're paying for currency to buy more of the drops, and they're all cosmetic. There's like, all weapons, because of the way Battle Royale games work, where you drop in, you arrive, you grab your shit, and you get out and start killing people. You're never going to be able to pay for weapons. But you can pay for the skins you put on the weapons, customizations of the characters, and the characters are actually pretty like good. There's different skills. I mostly play Bangalore, who's the soldier, so I get smoke grenades. So I can just projectile launch smoke into fights, which is great.
Yeah, especially in a battle royale game. Yeah,
if you've got 2 teams, like, because you're always in teams of 3 unless somebody drops out, you have like 2 teams of 3 going at each other. You wait like 30 seconds, wait for them to start getting kind of in between each other. You just launch smoke grenades and you run in with your guys and just tear both teams apart. Fuck them all up. And my special power is to just orbital bombardment. Takes a while to detonate. Like, I think they should maybe make that a bit faster, but
yeah,
I cover half a football field in missiles, and you die if you're in that field.
Nice.
So very nice.
I like it.
But yeah, it's been a good experience. Played it on PC. It was okay. The only problem is when you play first-person shooters against PC people who are experienced with that game.
Yeah, it's not going to go well.
Ass handed to you repeatedly
Yep.
for several hours, and you give up.
It's not fun.
Yeah. And then I played on Xbox with my brother, who, as we've talked about before in this podcast, is a fucking monster. It is unreal. I was like, oh, maybe it's just like he has a couple games that he's really good at. Nah, you just give him something and he figures it out, and he's like, okay, I know what this does.
Just give him a shooter, and 5 minutes later, it's like, I am the highest rank you can be.
Yeah. I win. How'd you win it? This is like a never-ending game. I win.
Just you gave me the game, I played. That's how I win.
Yeah. But I played with him for a couple of weeks. First, he played on PlayStation 4 because he's got friends on PlayStation 4. Played first game with me on Xbox. 10 kills out of 64 players.
It's pretty fucking good.
Won the game. First time playing it, I was like, fuck you. Fuck you.
I'm not playing this game anymore.
Nope, we're done here. Goodbye.
It's time to turn the Xbox off and go home.
We played for a couple of hours, and Xboxes get hot.
Yeah.
Especially with the older model there. And I've actually, I've turned it, because normally I have like the tray facing me, but it's digital download, so I don't really need it. So I turned the thing so I could have maximum exposure for the fans to like the air in and out. Yeah. It needs it.
Yeah. I should also say that I know exactly where you're coming from. In Scotland right now, we've been having a bit of a cold snap.
Yeah.
And we had snow, not last weekend, but the weekend before. So about 2 weekends ago, we had snow and we had pretty low temperatures.
Yeah.
I was playing Resident Evil 2 on the Xbox. I could actually see thermal heat lines rising off my Xbox. It was that fucking cold. And I don't think it was because, maybe I was playing the Xbox a bit too long. I just think this motherfucker generates so much heat, and it was so cold in my room, I could actually see thermal heat lines coming off it.
I know what you mean, because I had that thing sitting there, and we played for a couple of hours. I turned it off, and I left it, and half an hour later I came back, I was like, that's still warm.
Yeah.
Like, not hot. Like, it's not as hot as it was when it was running, but because I tested it, I was like, I wonder how it's doing. Like, we've been playing for about 5 hours at this point. Put my hand over it, I was like, oh shit, we're stopping in an hour at most. Yeah. At best, I have an hour left on this Xbox, we are fucked. Came back half an hour later, I'm like, that shit's still
That's still warm, yeah.
I think it needs an idle mode where you can, like, it'll still kind of circle the fans if it needs it, but like it's powered off and it just needs to vent heat a bit, because if it just goes passive, I think you might have a danger of actually damaging something.
Well, what I do on mine is I put it on sort of low power settings, so it's never really off.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it just means I can, set something to download, turn the Xbox off using the actual settings, and it'll still stay connected to the internet. It'll stay on low power mode, almost like it's on standby constantly.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's probably not cheap. Probably not.
I don't think it. I think it affects your. I don't think it drains that much.
Yeah, I can't see it being that big a waste to
boost your startup as well.
Yeah, my Xbox has always started up very quickly. But
because that's what caught me was the morning afterwards. I came back, turned it on, and it was just stuck in the Xbox loading screen for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I left it, walked away, came back, was like, I'm going to restart it, but if this isn't working, I need to Google how to replace an Xbox One hard drive. Because that's probably what's gone, but actually not that hard. I've actually got most of the gear here we need to do it.
Yeah, it's not difficult. Yeah. If I think right, there's just one panel at the top of the Xbox that you need to pop off, and it's just a case of sliding a tab. There's a couple there.
It's not bad. Yeah. I mean, considering I took the hard drive on my laptop compared to the Xbox, compared to that, I'd do that any day. So I might be giving it a go. I don't know if I want to put a big hard drive in there, like a big...
Yeah, something that's going to chew up or generate more power, generate more heat, or need more power and generate more heat.
Well, see, I would go SSD. SSD for the fast. That's what I want, is the faster loading times.
Yeah, I think you can put SSDs in PS4s and Xbox Ones.
You can. I've seen a couple of tutorials. Like, yeah, you can make it work. You got to make sure it's formatted right.
Yeah,
and you've got to either choose like 512, 1 terabyte, or 2 terabyte. if you choose anything outside of that, you've got to like the disc formats into either 500, 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte. You get it wrong, you're wasting like half your hard drive.
Yeah, you need to do it right.
So we'll see. If it has a couple more issues, because, I mean, that thing was Fallout 76, Fallout 4 came out when I got that. That was what, 11.11? Oh, when was that? No, because Skyrim was 11.11.11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skyrim was PS3 360.
Yeah.
I think you might have got the Xbox One, because you had the Xbox One way before I did. I think you had it about a year before I did, and I got my Xbox 3 years ago.
Because that makes me think, wait a minute. I think I was here, like I was living here when I got it, because I got it delivered to a place near work, so I could walk, get it. No, wait, I was back at my parents' house, so yeah, it would be about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So 4 years on the Xbox, not the worst.
Yeah, and yours was brand new. I'm amazed my Xbox has lasted that long, because I know for my parents bought me it. I know for a fact it was second hand. The thing still works brilliantly. I do not, grudge the fact that they bought me second hand. Still works. But I think I might need to look to replace that fairly soon, because I replaced the PS4 because it sounded like at some point it was just going to take off.
Yeah.
It was way too fucking loud. But I'm still keeping that one. I know someone that is willing to take a look at it for me. Okay. If they can repair it, fine. Got 2 PlayStations in the house. But at the same time, I just kind of want to know what happened so that I can try and prevent it with the new PlayStation.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a case of you need to put it in a place where it can get more ventilation. Happy with that.
Yeah.
Because I hate that loud fucking noise whenever I
think PlayStation 4, you've got not like a PS4 Slim, but you've got the original chunky PS4.
Yeah, I had the original chunky PS4. I now have the new Slim model.
Okay. Just because my brother's chunky PS4, if you just use it a lot, like they just do that.
Yeah, it's just regular wear and tear. It's because I think it might be because they have to power so much internally.
Yeah.
There's no external power pack or anything like that.
I think it's just trying to keep up with the heat of that, and it's trying to vent that constantly. Which makes me interested to see. My brother got the new the Xbox One S.
Yeah, doesn't have the external power pack anymore, does it?
Yeah, I want to see what that's like. I'm waiting to see what his is like a month down. Because he will use it way more than I will. Yeah. So I want to see what would happen if he was to run that as hard as he runs his previous Xbox, which he made completely brick. I'm like, holy crap, how did you do that? They're not supposed to do that anymore. He was like, don't know, just played video games. It's
definitely how many issues that they can have surrounding sort of just general sort of loudness on the machine, and how it can just overheat and shut down now has genuinely limited how much time I spend on my consoles now.
Yeah.
Because I remember I think what led to my original PS4 just packing in was the fact that, or a couple of reasons that led to it packing in was the fact that I didn't really put it in a well ventilated area. It was kind of all the vents were kind of flat up against the wall, just because of storage space and like with the way I set up my room. But I've moved it now, so there's like nothing obstructing the fans, and there's space in between the 3 consoles. Yeah. But I think what led to the downfall of the original PS4 is I would play Monster Hunter for like 12 hours at a time if I didn't have a day. Like on average, if I didn't have a day, or if I had a day free, I didn't have any work or anything to do, I would just start at about 9 in the morning and just go straight through. I just keep playing, and that is not good, especially on a modern console where it can generate so much heat.
Yeah,
I think you genuinely need to look at it and limit yourself to say maybe 5 hours maximum.
Yeah, you're in danger of frying components.
Yeah, and it's just really expensive.
Yeah, the thing that sells it for me is the fact that when I got my PC, I took it home, or opened it up, took a look at it, and realised that my power pack had its own air supply. And I was like, that's interesting. Didn't even think about that. I know there's fans at the back, but I assumed that was for just general ventilation. Didn't notice that it was actually just like a fan attached to my PC at some point. So, just for the power supply, you say. How much is that generating? You can feel it. You put your hand against it, you're like, oh, that's not good. That's why I keep it away from my feet, because fuck that noise.
Yeah. It's something that it's just ridiculous. Like the closer we get towards the big powerful PC that we've always dreamed of, the more we have to worry about, this could burn a hole in my carpet, or this could burn a hole into the next room.
I actually got a wheel little cassette thing to just sit it on, so I could wheel it a bit, and also just to lift it off the ground.
Yeah.
Because I was tempted to just put it down on the ground, just use more of the desk space. I think I waited to get that table back as well, because I had my PC on that table for a long time. I was like, that's kind of shaky and a piece of shit. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's one obviously. For what Colin's talking about here, it's a little sort of folding art table type thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can imagine big heavy PC on top of that. At some point, you're risking knocking the whole thing down.
I'm risking not having a PC anymore,
Yeah.
having a big hole in the downstairs neighbour's roof to pay for.
Yeah.
So I was thinking to myself, I'll get it on like one of the little cassettes.
Yeah.
The shipping on those is fantastic. It came in a box like a third of its size. I don't know how they fuck they fit it in there, but you look at it and go, that's genius.
Yeah.
They would just fold the halves of it and just like twist them so it forms like a cube and then put the wheels in the middle. It's
Nice.
like, dude, that's so simple but fucking genius at the same time. I would never have packed it like this.
It's like in you ever heard of it's a mattress company in America called Casper.
Yeah, I hear about them a lot.
I listen to quite a lot of podcasts. They do quite a lot of sponsorships, but I have a friend who is from the States in my uni class, and she was talking about at home she has a Casper mattress, and she showed me the box that it came in. I was like, that mattress should not fit in there.
Yeah.
They are wizards over at Casper and how they get that. I feel like I'm about to go into a fucking ad spot or something like that. Now if you use the promo code gibberpish20, you can get 20% off your order.
You would not believe how they fit all that in there. Just like your mother.
Just it's like how I waxed that ass. Stuffed it all in.
But no, the thing with that is they just suck out all the air.
Yeah, it's just vacuum packing. Yeah, then you open it up and it's like, oh crap, how did that get in there?
I can't remember. I think it was one of the guys from Rooster Teeth, I think it was Miles, said he tried to set one up and like didn't expect how quickly it would expand and got like hit with it. Because it's like instant, it's just like pop, it's open. You just got like punched in the chest by it. Like, holy shit.
What the fuck? That's not
awesome.
meant to happen.
That should be the advert. I got punched in the chest by a mattress. Do you want to be punched in the chest by a mattress? What are you, a pussy? Come on.
Use promo code Funhouse and get
smacked in the chest. Try the man test for free. Or for a 25% discount, I guess. Yeah, you just checked your notes. You've got something.
No, I was just saying to see if I had what else I had to talk about. I do have
sell mattresses. Check.
Yeah, just we spoke about Casper. Sponsor us.
Cha-ching.
Nah, I looked into, just to satiate my own curiosity, I looked into the numbers that you need to be pulling for sponsors to even be looking at you.
Scary, innit?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. But no, that's the ultimate goal. Get sponsors for the show.
That's the ultimate goal. Fuck it.
Fuck it. Although I get some, even if it's just some like, this is a weird woman. She makes fudge. She sponsors us for £2,000 an episode. We are going to do the sponsor spot.
2,000 an episode. Yeah, we're doing that spot.
Yeah, just even if it's just she makes it out of dead cats.
Crazy Annie's crazy toffees.
Crazy cat ladies, crazy dead cat toffees. They're in the shape of the cat that came from. This one was run over by a car. She's got a big road tire sign.
Now announcing the new mittens line. Oh no!
I don't want to see where this is going. But I sent you a message through the week after I watched Venom.
All right, yeah.
And you were perplexed at the lack of both Spider-Man and the lack of New York. I think more so the lack of New York.
I mean, New York's pretty
integral.
Yeah. Spider-Man,
Yeah,
Spider-Man. He's had enough movies.
Yeah, he's had enough. But what
Could you imagine that in the Venom movie, you see Uncle Ben being shot in the background? I'd be so fucking mad I'd leave.
Fuck this.
You hear, Uncle Ben, no! Fuck you. I'm leaving.
I'm just trying to think. Who would they get to play Uncle Ben since they got Marissa Tomei to play May in the new one? They're kind of going younger. So who would Uncle Ben be? Well, Uncle Ben in the Amazing Spider-Man was Martin Sheen.
Right.
So would they go Charlie Sheen for Uncle Ben this time?
For some reason, my head instantly went to the guy that plays Phil in Modern Family. I don't know why. I think it'd be hilarious to just see him if you're trying to do the age thing. I think that'd be about right. I'd watch that.
That'd be pretty funny. Yeah, it would add a new element to Spider-Man. But yeah, I was confused as to how they were going to do Venom. Just on the whole, because Venom is the most powerful symbiote in existence because of the powers he absorbed from Spider-Man. He absorbed the super strength. He absorbed the organic webbing, the sense, the kind of the grip on the walls type thing. But in this one, there's none of that, and he's still just as powerful, if not more powerful, because he's got a bit more versatility about him, the different weapons and shit that he can make. But they do it quite well, and the character of Venom itself is actually pretty fun.
Yeah,
he's a bit of an asshole towards Eddie Brock, but he's a symbiote living off the lifeblood of Eddie Brock. He's
how does
meant to be a bit of an asshole.
How does this fit into? Is it tied at all to MCU?
No. I think it exists as a separate entity, but I think the people that own Venom, or the people that made Venom over at Sony, are trying to push him into the MCU.
Because why not?
But they want to do an R-rated version. They want to do an R-rated Venom in Venom 2.
Okay.
And MCU are just going, no. Even though
fit that one in.
Even though the Black Widow movie is going to be R-rated.
Ooh.
Which I am fucking down for.
Nice.
Just because I want to see, you get the sense that Natasha Romanoff is meant to be the toughest assassin in existence at the time.
Yeah.
But you never really get to see how brutal an assassin could be.
Yeah, I think there could be a good thing of her being stuck behind enemy lines and going, okay, I guess I'm going to leave now, and just having to batter her way out the front
just
door.
have to snap necks on the way along to the safe zone. So I think it'd be pretty cool. But apparently they don't want an R-rated Venom in the MCU. Personally, I think it'd be pretty cool. But it would be weird having an R-rated Venom next to Tom Holland, who is just, a human fucking rainbow. Like, yeah, okay, he's Spider-Man. He's meant to be happy and jolly, but let's introduce darkness itself in Venom.
You'd watch it though, just to see Tom Holland go, oh shit.
I'd watch it for two reasons. If they introduced Venom into the sort of MCU, I'd watch it to see how they handled Venom going to Spider-Man.
And then jumping to Eddie Brock.
Then jumping back to Eddie Brock. And I'd also watch it to see the inevitable fight between symbiote Spider-Man and Iron Man. Because Tony Stark always has to show up in some fucking capacity in a Spider-Man movie because of contracts and the sort.
Or we have people like Iron Man hears Spider-Man's
getting a bit unhinged.
And he's like, what the fuck? He goes to investigate, but he's too late. Venom's already jumped. So he take all the powers out of Spider-Man, or the symbiote absorbs some of the powers of Spider-Man into the brutalness of Eddie Brock, who gains the symbiote back for some reason, and then those two fight it out.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
And you just have Spider-Man lay on the ground. And you're like, so then you have you wouldn't have to have the inevitable scene where it's like Venom being like, let's kill him, let's tear his throat out or something, and then Spider-Man's just like, but no, he's our friend.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool.
Just fight back from the inside.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool just to see Spider-Man, who is infinitely stronger than Iron Man,
just start tearing,
ripping the suit off and just going for Tony.
Yeah.
Then obviously you'd have that moment where Peter just looks down and sees that it's actually Tony. And he goes, "Oh, I can't hit him. He's my mentor." Then you have the suit tearing scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool if they handled it well.
But I mean, that's just geek casting our perfect movie. This would work really well, and you know that everybody who looks at it goes, I mean, yeah, but I'm not risking it.
Yeah.
All it takes is one scene to come across as just weird, and then we just have a shitty, weird movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But speaking of casting, Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock works pretty damn good.
Yeah.
He gets the whole point behind Eddie Brock is he's meant to be a bit of an asshole anyway.
Yeah.
He's meant to be this kind of hard-nosed reporter that's just going to do whatever he needs to do to get his scoop or get his news. And he gets that across. He basically pisses off one of the most powerful people in San Francisco at the time.
Yeah.
And he basically just blackballs him across the board. Like, you don't work anymore. You can't get a job. You can't do this. Oh, your girlfriend, she's now lost her job as well. He just completely fucks over Eddie Brock at the kind of molecular level.
What's it like in San Francisco? That's so weird. That was the thing that got me. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Of all the places, San Francisco?
Yeah, I have no idea why. I think the reason why they put it in San Francisco is because at one time in the comics, Eddie Brock basically gets ran out of New York.
Okay.
He's at the Daily... It's not the Daily Bugle. I think it might be the Daily Globe. Dangerously close to the Daily Planet. That's the other guys. But I think it's either the Daily Globe or the Daily something. Whatever it is. He goes to work for them in San Francisco. But the editor there just kind of says, no, you were involved in that shit. I don't want you anymore. And then he does a whole bunch of other things. But they're basically kind of using that plot point from the comic books that he flees to San Francisco to start the new job.
Okay.
And they're kind of using that as a basis to establish why he's in San Francisco. And then they use the Life Foundation, which I think is based in San Francisco anyway, so it works. And the Life Foundation is all about, advancing humans, trying to grow grow past Earth.
Let's make better people with no possible side effects.
Yeah.
What did you say? Nothing.
Just let's humanity needs a little extra something. Let's combine them with flesh-eating viruses. Wait, what?
I mean, flesh-eating puppies. You gotta stop adding word flesh-eating to stuff. Oh no, sorry.
It's just fine. I'll put down this flesh-eating cola.
It's not what that is.
Yeah.
It's just cola.
Why do you put flesh eating in front of everything? That's not our brand. We're trying to save humanity. But
Flesh eating humanity.
flesh eating humanity. Well, yeah, flesh eating humanity. Yeah. And any kind of capacity.
Yeah.
But the main enemy of the movie is a symbiote called Riot,
Okay.
who's one of the 5 symbiotes that in the comic books. This is he's one of the 5 symbiotes whose names completely escape me, with the exception of Riot, who were created when the Life Foundation gets a hold of Venom, and they basically just start poking and prodding, and they basically like Gizmo from Gremlins.
Okay.
They find how to make it reproduce. They just pour water on Venom and little Venoms pop.
Seems legit. Yeah.
They basically make 5 other symbiotes, like children of Venom, and they'll basically have some kind of facet of Venom's power.
Okay.
That's what it was in the comic books. In this one, it's just these are 5 other symbiotes that came from the same planet as Venom, and now we're trying to find strong hosts so that they can go back to their home planet and bring more symbiotes back down to Earth and basically take over the whole planet.
Makes sense.
But Venom, he's a weaker symbiote. He just wants to go to Earth and rule us. He wants to take over Earth, but he knows if the other symbiotes get in his way, he's not going to be able to do that, and that's where Eddie Brock comes in.
All right.
It's all in all, it's a safe story. They could have went in a different direction, but ultimately it works. The dynamic between Eddie and Venom, it works as well. The other character, I think her name was An Wei Ying. You think she was Asian, but no. She's I think she might be a San Francisco native. A good character in the comic books. The actress that plays her does a pretty damn good job. But ultimately, it wasn't really a totally memorable character. All the side characters in this aren't really memorable. You remember Carlton Drake, who's the main bad guy, and you remember Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
All the other characters, you're like, oh, cool.
Well, to be fair, they won't be there in the next movie when he goes back to New York, so...
Yeah, I think because they did set that up, that he was going back to New York. They set up Cletus Cassidy as Carnage.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Played by Woody Harrelson.
That's very good.
With a stupid as fuck Ronald McDonald red wig on. Because you know he's a bald man.
Yeah.
They give him this weird, just mental red hair wig. It's very comics accurate, but it looks fucking stupid.
I know what he looks like without the wig. This is weird.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. But then again, it's still Woody Harrelson as Cletus Cassidy. You're like, dude's going to take this in a fucking awesome direction.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see.
Actually, Woody Harrelson. Did you see that Zombieland 2 teaser?
I did not. I heard that Zombieland 2's been in the pipeline for years.
Yeah, they went for the 10-year challenge thing. Like, oh shit, it's been 10 years since Zombieland.
Oh, fuck. Still a great movie.
Still a great movie, but the idea we get another one, I'm down for it.
Yeah, I'm down for it as well. More, who was in that movie? It was obviously Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone,
Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg, that fucker.
And then the little one, who is now not so little, like she's almost as taller than Jesse Eisenberg.
She grew the hell up. Now she's like, oh, right, you were a child actor 3 days ago. What the fuck happened to you?
Good to see you've not done too much cocaine. Let's go shoot a movie.
Yeah, let's go make a movie, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that might be the new winner of the 10 years challenge, Zombieland 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all down for seeing that. I mean, I'd rather see Zombieland 2 as opposed to the next Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah, they're going back.
They're going back to the Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd. Obviously, Howard Ramis isn't going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
Which I think they could do well if they replace him with the right character.
You could find another
right
comedy
actor.
legend who would fit in.
Yeah, Howard Ramis. If they get the guy that played Zedmore, he's probably going to be down for it again, because I'm going to hazard a guess he's not had much on since Ghostbusters. He's a voice actor now, from what I know.
He's
good voice actor.
Busy.
Yeah, he's probably keeping himself busy. But he was in Dragon Ball Evolution.
All right, what was? Oh, right.
He was one of the priests that.
I actually binned my disc for that. I'm pretty happy to say I've never seen it.
Someone
I've
bought it for me.
evil.
Someone bought it for me and said, "Oh, you need to watch it. It's great." I'm like, "Excuse me." At what point, when you walked into where I sleep and seen my Dragon Ball poster, my Dragon Ball DVDs, my Dragon Ball Fighters, my Vegeta pop vinyl, and thought, "Oh, Dom will like Dragon Ball Evolution. What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Is this a normie by any chance?
I was a normie, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get anime.
They just see the word Dragon Ball and like, that's the
Oh,
thing.
they'll
he
like
likes.
this. I think, oh, great. So I watched it, and there's a bit where they go to a shrine to get the pot for the Mafuba.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the guy that played Winston in Ghostbusters.
Oh,
the guy that played Zedmore. I'm like, okay. I mean, you're a good actor. I've heard your voice in a few things like Transformers and what have you. You're a good voice actor, but I don't think I can let you away with Dragon Ball Evolution.
Have you seen just Dan Aykroyd reminded me of JonTron?
Yeah, I watched the JonTron Crystal Head vodka thing.
Yeah,
Dan Aykroyd's not a sane man.
he's not okay.
Are you okay there? Did John Belushi's death hit you? Are you only just now dealing with John Belushi's death? Or is it Jim Belushi? Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi.
No, it was John Belushi. John Belushi was the OG.
All right, yeah. But yeah, I saw that video. I was like, holy shit. It's almost as weird as I don't know if you've gotten around to watching Joe Rogan interviewing Travis Barker.
I was listening to that on the bus home today, but the app that I'm using for podcasts crapped out on me. So I've downloaded the episodes to listen to.
Right.
Then as soon as I've connected to the internet, it's just wiped it again. So I've had to re-download them.
What do you use?
I just use the podcast app.
Oh.
I think it might be the iTunes or the Apple variant. But regardless, there's no native Android one on my phone anyway.
Podbean.
Yeah, Podbean.
That's why we post there, because it's not a shitty service.
Yeah, really good service. Sponsor us.
Damn, you're starting to whore us out a little bit here.
We need to be whored out. Pout, motherfucker.
That's the episode title.
We need to be whored.
We need to be whored out. So now that we've established an episode title, I was gonna say, just because of like weird stories about Dan Aykroyd and his weird like elementally infused vodka.
Yeah, and the actual ethos, not the ethos, like the myth behind the crystal skulls themselves.
I was like, holy shit. Apparently, it was Joe Rogan talking to Travis Barker brings up the fact that the singer, what's his name? Fuck.
From Blink-182?
Yeah.
Tom DeLonge?
Yeah. Tom left to go hunt aliens.
Okay.
And apparently, like, it's not a joke. He's not doing this for a bit. He has been obsessed with aliens and extraterrestrial life since the band began, and has now just decided, I've got enough money.
I'm going to go and do that.
Fuck it. Time to yeet myself out the door and go hunt me some aliens.
Where's those grey motherfuckers with the big eyes? I'm going to find them.
And you're like,
Yeah.
I mean, congrats.
Yeah, I mean, if you're now at that level of bank where you can just go, fuck it, I'm going to burn stacks on finding extraterrestrials, good on you.
For all your weird and creepy passion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just heard that and I was like, dude, that guy made some like decent pop punk music back in the day. Why is he a lunatic now?
Yeah, what happened to him?
Yeah.
I'm now worried for the guy in Bowling for Soup. What's he doing?
Be. Have you seen the size of that guy?
Yeah, his tour is actually we're fatter. The current tour for Bowling for Soup is something along the lines of, yeah, we're fatter than we used to be tour.
That's terrifying.
Yeah,
because I saw the
I'm pretty sure it's something like Bowling for Soup. The we're fatter than we used to be tour. Like, should you be advertising that? Because the bassist was always big.
Yeah,
but if now the lead singer is looking kind of like the bassist,
chunky. Extra chunky.
I
was watching download footage or something like that, and you're like, "Whoa, what happened?" Like,
what happened to you?
It you know, the thing like, "Oh, your metabolism catches up to you." Like all of everyone's metabolism caught up to one guy.
Yeah,
and you just kind of inflated out. And you're like, "Dude, that's sad."
It's kind of like when you see Fred Durst, 90s Fred Durst, and you see now Fred Durst, like, oh shit.
now Fred Durst without like a hoodie on, you're like,
you're big dude.
That's a shame.
Speaking of Ghostbusters, actually, have you ever watched the 2016 female Ghostbusters?
Nah.
I did. I watched it not too long ago when I was around visiting family. I don't know how you can take 4 of the funniest women on the planet and put out that piece of shit.
I'd heard that, like,
because you've got Kate McKinnon,
said, incredibly talented, like people on screen.
Yeah.
Doing nothing worth a laugh.
Yeah, you've got Kate McKinnon, fucking hysterical. Melissa McCarthy, great actress, hysterical as well. Yeah. Kristen Wiig, for fuck's sake. Yeah. And you've also got Leslie Jones. 4 of the funniest motherfuckers. Like, they're geniuses on SNL. They've done other voice work, other pieces where they've been acting. Funny as hell. Then you've got other sort of cameos. You've got Sigourney Weaver. You've got Bill Murray.
Chris Hemsworth.
If you can somehow take those 7 people and pump out a boring film like that.
Yeah.
2016 Ghostbusters deserves all the shit it gets thrown at it, but not for the reasons that people think. The cast is great, but the movie's boring as hell.
Is it worth it to see it as a study?
It's worth to see it it's worth a watch just to see what happens when you get a great cast but a poor script.
Okay.
Because you can tell that this thing started off as we're going to do this thing with it then because we've got these people, then realised that the funny that you get from them only really works if they write for themselves. Because they took 4 women who've been on SNL. For those who don't know, Saturday Night Live is a huge sort of sketch comedy thing in America. You take 4 women who are hugely successful on Saturday Night Live, then give them this subpar script, then it's just, of course they're not going to be funny because they've not, had a chance to do what they usually do with it.
Yeah, they've not workshopped it. They've just been given a script and said, go make this funny.
Yeah, go make this funny. It's like no amount of Kate McKinnon's like weird, awkward, kind of dry comedy is going to help that at all.
That's just, I'd heard it was bad, but I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's actually bad, and then got to see reviews for it, and when you see like the critics' reviews are also very, very bad, you're like, wow, it's not just public opinion, it's somebody looking at this and saying no.
Yeah, under no circumstances believe for a second that I'm saying, it's a bad movie because it's an all-female Ghostbusters. It's just a bad movie. I was rooting for them because I wanted to, like, right, this could be cool. You've got 4 like really talented people. You've got a semi-well-known director behind it. You've got a good pedigree to build on. Ghostbusters 1 was great. Ghostbusters 2 was, I like it.
Yeah, it becomes a thing of, why not? Why not give it a shot?
Why not give it a shot? You backed the wrong person. Like, take that same cast and give it to an accomplished director, and I guarantee you'll get 10 times as funny. But yeah, I would not recommend Ghostbusters 2016. So I'm hoping Ghostbusters 2019, or no, I think they'll probably call it Ghostbusters 3, just to kind of elbow Ghostbusters 2016 out of the way.
Yeah. I did see somebody was complaining that the fact that they were going back to a male cast was horrifically like misogynistic.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're just taking this opportunity away from women. I'm like, your movie didn't work. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Like, no producer, no executive producer is going to say, I'll stump up the cash for another go at a pretty badly received movie.
Yeah. I mean, in all fairness, if they decide to take one of the female Ghostbusters and put her in the role of Harold Ramis's character and just say, this is Egon's daughter, fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that 100%. If it's Melissa McCarthy, I don't care who it is. Like, any of the 4 from the female cast, put them into the male and just say, this is Egon's daughter. Cool with that.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you've got Dan Aykroyd writing, you've got Bill Murray writing it. Comedic geniuses right there. Dan Aykroyd's maybe going a bit weird, but with his crystal.
You can still put out the yucks,
Yeah, I guarantee at some point he's going to promote Crystal Head vodka throughout the movie. He's going to be looking through all his occult paraphernalia or all his occult texts. He's going to be pulling books in and go, this Crystal Head, where did I get that from? crystalheadvodka.com.
What a weird thing. It says crystalheadvodka.com on the bottom of this crystal skull.
Who made this pure and clear drink? Daniel Aykroyd. crystalheadvodka.com.
He just picks it up and says, it's not, I can see the light coming through this because it's been triple filtered, and then puts it back
Triple
through
filter
diamonds.
Through the diamonds. What does he keep saying? That there's no he puts his hat on something because he keeps coming back to it multiple times throughout the read. He said, we do not put any additives, we put no preservatives, we put no like aspartame or something like that. There's none of these different ingredients in there.
Why would you put aspartame in?
I don't know. I'm just saying that as an example, but he keeps coming back to, we do not put this in our vodka. We do not put that in our vodka. A lot of people do put that in it. Did you know that our vodka was voted one of the best vodkas? It was voted one of the best vodkas in a Russian vodka competition.
Yeah.
But then you look on the website, he does not sell this vodka in Russia at all.
It's nowhere near either. Like, the nearest he gets is like Ukraine or something.
I'm pretty sure it's not even the same country. You have to go several thousand miles in another direction to get the vodka. How can you say that Russian people love it if you don't fucking sell it in Russia? Strange man.
Creepy bastard.
Strange dude. And yeah, this guy's making Ghostbusters 3.
Here we go.
Yep. Here comes crazy old Uncle Aykroyd.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess it'd be nice to see Bill Murray again.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see him doing something that's not just a parody of himself. Because I genuinely think the last time I seen him, apart from in Ghostbusters 2016, where he played a parody of himself in Ghostbusters,
was in Zombieland.
Playing a parody of himself. Is this what Bill Murray does now?
At a certain point, does he need to do anything else? I mean, how much money does that guy have?
The guy's got SNL money. The guy's got shit tons of comedy credits to his name. I don't think he needs to make any money.
I mean, if Dan Aykroyd has enough money to make a diamond filtered vodka company,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's cheap diamonds, but
Yeah. Then again, Bill Murray, every year, I think on a certain network in America, just does a Bill Murray Christmas. And he gets every single famous motherfucker on there. He gets paid stacks for that.
and I'm pretty sure at a certain point there must be residuals from movies.
Yeah.
Like it's the thing with like Chevy Chase. How much does he make from residuals?
Yeah, National Lampoon must be just paying him fortunes.
Just like handing out $100 bills, like fuck it.
Yeah, it's just, we got Chevy Chase.
Got that fuck it money.
Yeah. Although speaking of Chevy Chase and Bill Murray, apparently on Saturday Night Live, they two had to be separated. Like, they would not work in the same room as each other.
I hear a lot of bad stories about Chevy Chase, and it often involves him being separated from other people.
Yeah, apparently he does not play well with others.
Yeah, I mean, his whole thing with Dan Harmon was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like what he was going through, like making people do on Community. Like, oh, come on, rewrite the script so I'm funny. Or like leaving angry voicemails all the time. You're like, dude, you're a grown ass man. What is, like, not even just a grown ass man, like an old grown ass man.
Yeah, you
like,
grown ass man.
I never understand that kind of weird mentality of like, well, everyone will now just bend to my will. Chop, chop.
I can imagine he's the opposite of Larry David. Larry David does all that for effect, then he'll eventually just get on with it. Chevy Chase actually just means it.
That's the end up with Larry David for a while either. Every now and again I watch an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, I'm like, this is genius.
Yeah. You can tell at some point him and Jerry Seinfeld just worked on shit, and that became the most viewed thing of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, Larry David wrote the first 4 seasons of Seinfeld before he wanted to do something by himself.
I'd say I'm definitely due to watch Seinfeld at some point.
He's actually touring. He's coming to Glasgow, and I'm genuinely tempted to get tickets.
Ooh.
Like Jerry Seinfeld doing a stand-up. Fucking brilliant, I'd do that.
Did see Ray Romano's got a comedy special?
Yeah, it's weird
Round
to
the
see
corner.
the guy from Everybody Loves Raymond doing stand-up. Apparently, he was fucking great.
Back in the day,
Back
fantastic.
in the day, yeah.
But now he's just kind of Ray from TV, so...
Yeah, now he's Ray Romano from television, not Ray Romano from the stand-up circuit.
And he's got that stand-up, or he's got that syndicated TV money, so...
Yeah.
I mean, they've still shown that in the UK, where there's, like...
Yeah, early morning TV.
Early morning TV was always on, and you're like, who's watching this show about a guy from, like, the outskirts...
Queens or something like that.
Yeah. I think it was
Long Island?
Long Island, because Queens had King of Queens.
Yeah, and that is still getting shown. That is the only reason Jerry Stiller's still getting money.
Yeah.
Or if he's even still alive, that's the only reason he's still getting money.
I'm now worried I need to Google that.
Yeah.
Seems like a risky click.
Yeah, I don't want to see Maury Ballstein from Zoolander passed away.
Who was there was something I had that was like, oh, I need to like quickly mention this. I think it might have been movie related as well.
Movie related?
I need to tell us. It was that. There's been obviously the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has been without a director because James Gunn got fired for creepy ass tweets or whatever.
Isn't it a joint directorial effort now?
Well,
Taika Waititi and James Gunn?
Taika Waititi's not involved.
He's not involved?
No.
Is he gone?
He's busy. He'd probably be busy because they must be filming now. In order to get it out, they must be filming now.
Yeah.
He's releasing, or he's working on What We Do in the Shadows TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that movie?
I've only just recently renewed my Amazon Prime, so I'll probably get to watching it soon.
Do it. It's good. It's not like cutting edge comedy.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
still Taika
really
Waititi
funny.
comedy.
Yeah. It's really weird, fun comedy that you're like, wonder what he's going to do with this, and you have no idea until it gets to the end.
If anyone asks me what's a good Taika Waititi film to watch, I'll never point at my Thor Ragnarok because it's not a Taika Waititi film.
It's close.
It's close, but it's a Marvel movie that Taika Waititi made.
Yeah.
If you want to watch a Taika Waititi film, you watch Hunt for the Wilder People.
Yeah.
That's just a great movie through and through.
I'd say that's more polished than What We Do in the Shadows, because that's got a definite cinematic style to do with the fact that they're just out in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't just like do weird stuff in the wilderness. You have to have like a purpose, and like a vision. You only got like so many days. You've got like so many hours you can film, especially with a kid actor out in the wilderness. There must be so much, like you have like 4 hours to shoot starting now. Like you have to go at it in a very certain style. What We Do in the Shadows is very kind of almost like college film style. Like you can just do what you want, doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
because nobody's going to stop you. You're just out and about filming with your mates. It's got that kind of vibe to it, but at the same time, it's really good. Like, it's got good production value.
Yeah, it's quite a big cast as well.
Yeah.
That's quite a decent cast. It's like Jermaine Clement
Aye.
from Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because somebody's like, oh, it's the Flight of the Conchords movie. Like, I don't know who those people are. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it's got one of them, but I don't think it's got the other guy. Because I'm pretty sure at the point where they were filming What We Do in the Shadows, they were probably making a Hobbit movie. I know for a fact the other guy, Brett, he was in all 3 Hobbit movies. So,
all right, what was he?
He was just an elf.
Okay,
Like, he was like Elrond's left hand man.
I mean, you get a chance to be in Middle Earth. You get to kind of shoot your shot at that one.
Yeah, you're in New Zealand at some point. You need to figure out: do you want to film a weird experimental vampire movie or
Weird experimental vampire movie? The Lord of the Rings. I mean, one of those affects your GDP for the entire country at this point.
one of you could make you a rich man. Another one could make you the most rich man in New Zealand.
I wonder what percentage of people from New Zealand that have worked on the Hobbit films or the Lord of the Rings or any of it.
I know for a fact to make Hobbiton, they basically had to hire construction workers from about 3 or 4 different places in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Just say, right, we don't have enough people to work on it in this town, so we're going to, go to different areas and just say, right, we need to hire you to build a whole shit ton of houses.
How many extras as orcs were here in Men of Gondor? Like, how many people have been hired by the Lord of the Rings? Obviously, it will affect the GDP just from tourism alone.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, like, the actual production of those movies probably has hired a percentage
Yeah, it probably boosted
of New Zealanders.
Probably boosted the overall kind of economy in New Zealand. Just people that are working on there, they're going to have to go someplace to sleep, eat, whatever.
Yeah, it's the thing that right now, like, there's a lot of money in those movies. I know some of it went back to New Zealand.
Yeah, I'd probably say quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
So you were saying that who's directing Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Because I know it's not James Gunn.
I don't know. They've just said it's not James Gunn. It's not Taika Waititi. So
it's postponed indefinitely at this point.
I did hear them say, like, after the James Gunn thing, they're like, yeah, we like the pre-production team were told to just go home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's not a good thing. And I know for a fact they'll probably want to get on that soon because Dave Bautista has said that he is walking if they don't get the right director.
Well, it was going to be he's going to walk if it wasn't James Gunn. So
yeah, I don't know if James Gunn is still going to be involved with Guardians at all.
I think now that he's been kicked, he won't come back.
Yeah, I think
it would be weird if he did.
Yeah,
I don't think Disney would tolerate that kind of thing. Like, I don't see the mouse doing that. I would just kind of look, you're banned because you're a very naughty boy. And like 6 months later, come on back.
Yeah.
Maybe like a weird, like some like really weird offshoot of like Hollywood branch. Like, what's the one that makes the horror movies again? I don't want to say Silver Sands because that's what's his name? Michael Bay's production house. But there's another one that I'm like, there's one that I'm like, they'd probably do that.
What, Hammer?
Hammer were still making movies. That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, imagine a modern Hammer horror movie. That'd be pretty fucking scary.
I'd go for it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I just sit there going, ooh. Here comes the weird intense horror that you've not seen in a decade or so. But I'm actually due for another horror binge. Normally it happens every couple of weeks and I'm like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
But I'm too busy on like comedy side things. But I could do with a really good horror binge. I've been watching quite a lot of sort of comedy stuff lately. I've recently, again, he's a really acquired taste, particularly amongst the people that are into the more kind of unclean comedy, the more sort of like cussing, dirty jokes, that kind of thing. But you've probably heard of him, Gabriel Iglesias. All right, yeah, Fluffy.
Fluffy, yeah. A lot of people don't like him. I can understand why. He doesn't really do, he doesn't really push the comedy envelope, but what he says is just pretty fucking funny.
For him, it's presentation.
Yeah.
His sound effects are phenomenal. Like, his ability to just make the certain noise that he needs to tell a story. Like, he does, like, car noise and stuff.
Yeah.
It reminds you of the guy from Police Academy.
Yeah, Michael Winslow.
Yeah, and you're like, how do you do that with your face?
Incidentally, I met that dude, and if you did meet him, the only thing that you would think he would ever done is Police Academy. You'd think that he's never done anything else. You talk to him, it's just I'm pretty sure he introduced himself as Motormouth Joe from Police Academy. It's like, you've probably done other things. There's no need to get that hung up on Police Academy.
I think that the problem is that he's done other things. Nobody saw them.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what happened.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gabriel, this is just hilarious. It's really funny. Like, when I remember seeing his stuff, like, what was it, a decade ago when he first started making it big?
Yeah, I remember sort of being just out of high school and passing that shit around.
And those were huge YouTube videos back in the day. Like, the story about like donuts for a cop or something like that.
Yeah, he's speeding and he's got the Krispy Kreme and he's like, "Why did you pull me over? Because you can smell it."
So now you can smell it.
He was always a good comedian, but I've spoken to quite a few people and they said, "Oh, if you're watching your comedian, watch this guy." And like, no, he's too clean. Like, yeah, it doesn't need to be he doesn't need to be swearing and cussing all the time for it to be good comedy. Yeah. But yeah, I watched his latest special. What was it? One Show Fits All.
Yeah.
It's just a really good show. He talks about smoking with Snoop Dogg.
That's got to be an experience.
He remembers the start of the interview where he introduces himself, then the weed kicks in, he can't remember the full thing. So I was like, I'm pretty sure that's how it goes, because you imagine at this point Snoop Dogg knows where to get the good stuff.
Yeah.
Or he probably knows.
And he's probably almost immune to the good stuff, so he's going to need new stuff soon.
He's going to need a new strain.
Yeah. I'd love to see, did you see his thing for Spyro?
Snoop Dogg's thing for Spyro.
Snoop Dogg had a promotional video for Spyro the Dragon when they did the remaster. And it literally was, they had this thing.
I remember seeing a tweet that was something like, "Oh, I can spit real fire. Come at me, Snoop Dogg." I was like, "Oh shit, Spyro's calling it Snoop."
I think that was part of the promotion thing, was like they'd like hype up at each other on Twitter. And then like it was Snoop in the studio working on something, and it gets a text message, goes, "My package is outside. Follow me out here." And it's him and his like camera and walk outside, and it's a drone that's been like paper mache with Spyro over the top of it with a flamethrower.
Oh right.
Landing to drop off the copy of the game. And you're like, that is some gangster shit.
That's
that is
pretty
some
fucking cool.
Unreal, like it's landing in his parking lot. Like apparently they took that drone, like, let's see if we can fly a drone across country. So they flew it like a couple 100 miles to get it down to where he was. You know, that's pretty fucking impressive, technically and just for sheer comedy value.
Yeah,
seeing Snoop Dogg be like,
fucking cool.
"Oh shit, it's Spyro the Dragon." Like, dude, what? You're like, again, another grown ass man, but this time it's funny.
They probably baked out his skull.
He's like, "Oh shit, it's a real dragon." No, you're fine, don't worry.
He's stabbing it, like beating it up with a shoe or something like that.
But yeah, you'd say the Gabriel.
Yeah, no, it's just a kind of. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for something different to watch because I've been getting heavily invested in the comedy. Like I watched Gabriel Iglesias. I went back and watched Joe Rogan Triggered. Another kind of, when you watch Strange Times is probably the better show. But Triggered's pretty good, especially for the sort of the last bit when he's doing the sort of Demon Kardashian thing. Yeah,
the Demon Kardashian bit is almost legendary at this point.
Yeah, it's the physical comedy of Joe Rogan cannot be understated. It does a lot of angry humour, but the final bit is just genius of physical comedy.
I'm trying to think because I've seen both of them. Like, the problem is I've seen them both several times, so they're now both kind of interlaced. Because I watched so much of his stuff as well with the podcast, I'm like, I've got just bits from Joe Rogan in my head. And I think I actually preferred Triggered for some reason. I can't remember what it was. I watched them both at some point. But
I can see why, but personally for me, I just think Strange Times was the better one.
That's the one he's like, I polished that to fuck.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one he took his new writing technique and was like, I'll do this for this special. And that was what came up.
And it works, man. I think Joe Rogan's probably up there in, say, top 5 comedians, like modern comedians.
And my comedy stuff's like, I can't say like, oh, he's definitely top 5. He probably is.
Yeah, no, for me anyway. Yeah. I think he's definitely top 5.
My comedy stuff is so personally biased. Yeah. Like, I guarantee you nobody's going to have like, nobody's got the same comedy list, but like Joe Rogan for me is like damn near, I actually can't think of anybody I talk about more. Yeah. And enjoy their comedy and their sense of humour more than him right now.
Yeah, I think for me it's I like a lot of Joe Rogan for just that kind of, he's going to take sort of pretty hard button topics and he's going to just break them down, make you kind of laugh about them. Yeah. For just in terms of just sheer off the wall, funny, weird, strange comedy, James Acaster. Mm-hmm. He talks about complete and utter nonsense and he just does it in a fairly funny way. But yeah, those are probably 2 comedians that off the top of my head I'd say, oh yeah, like they'd be making the list. But I've been trying to watch a lot of other stuff. But the thing is, I've been consuming so much fucking sports recently.
Yeah.
that's why I did text you about bringing back Sports Corner, because there's a few things I'd like to talk about, particularly surrounding fucking Scotland right now, who are terrifying me.
Is it just because like to see something about like their tackling's getting a bit risky, and you're like,
no, it's not the fact that their tackling's getting risky. I should probably explain that the rules, for those who don't know the rules in Scottish Rugby, you have to hit a certain point for it to be legal. That's basically anywhere from the waist down to the ankles is a legal tackle.
Yeah.
But Scotland are going in, aiming for the ankles while they're still up on their feet, so their neck is just hitting the ground. Like that's just a surefire way to get a broken neck.
Yeah.
But what's scaring me about Scotland is we're coming up against teams like Ireland, and we had Ireland on the back foot for most of that game Saturday. We had Ireland on the back foot for most of that game. Then for some strange reason we just lit up. It just completely took our foot right off the pedal, and then Ireland just picked us apart. Our backs were throwing shitty passes when they didn't need to. At one point our winger intercepts a pass that was almost a try. He goes to offload it inside to another player who catches it high and bounces it. The number 9, the scrum half for Ireland, doesn't even have to full extend. He just sticks his right hand up, plucks the ball out of the air, and just scores one of the easiest tries I've ever seen. Like, you could have stopped that whole thing if you just put the ball under the jumper, just tucked it right under the arm, and just went down.
Sprinting.
But no, we're trying too much fancy shit, and it's not fucking paying off. But contrast that to the Italy game 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
And that's how we won the game. We won the game by being, we had this flair about us. We had this, we were showing off. It was like proper globetrotter type shit.
Yeah.
But then what failed us in the Italy game was we went a man down, and they scored 2 of the quickest tries I've ever seen a team score. They went from, we had them 20 points to 3.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And then we score another try, go up to 29, or we go up to 27. Because I think we got 2 penalties after that. Then we go a man down for a dangerous tackle, and then Italy just bang it up straight up to 22 points. I'm like, how the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, like you blinking.
Was our defence that shocking because we went down 1 fucking man?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, we can't do that against Ireland. Then Ireland just rocked us right off the park. And the shit thing about it, Ireland were fucking terrible. Ireland were really off form.
Because they top tier Ireland.
Yeah, Ireland are the second best team in the world. Yeah. Like Ireland, they've beaten the All Blacks. They've played All Blacks twice in the past 4 years and beaten them both times.
Yeah. And
for those of you who don't know, All Blacks New Zealand team, best team in the world number 1 in terms of rugby. Ireland beat them twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scotland can front up against Ireland, but then all of a sudden just, we're bored now. Like, we get fucking destroyed.
The thing I've noticed is that Scottish Rugby, we seem to lose it at the 1 hour mark.
Yeah, we concede points in the last 20 minutes. It's always the stigma behind Scotland that we will get to that hour mark, that 60-minute mark, and just we'll try and defend. I think a lot of it comes from the coaches not wanting to make substitutions. They'll just go, no, we can't change anything. Everything's a bit too tenuous. So we'll just leave it out as is. Then bodies get tired, and there's still that reluctance to make changes on the pitch.
If that's the theory, that's the most retarded theory I've heard in a long while. Because that's why you have substitutions, is because it looks okay now. Your new bodies going in should be just as trained as the bodies you're taking off.
Yeah, you've got fresh legs going in there. Fair enough, you might got a player that's a bit more seasoned than who you've got on the subs bench, but still, that person that's going to come off the subs bench has been training with a seasoned player. Yeah. He's going to be able to fill that role, and if you've been coaching right, you should be able to just literally swap jerseys easily. Yeah, you should be able to just walk straight in.
You've got the fact that player you're putting on has been watching the entire match, not just what that player's seen, but the entire match with you within shouting distance. I guarantee you he's picked up what's going on the pitch. Yeah.
And there's always the person on the side, there's always the kind of sub-man on the side of the pitch who has an ear directly linked to the head coach who's saying, right, bring on take number 2 off, bring on number 16, but tell him to watch for this and this in the scrum. Yeah. Brilliant. And they'll go on and do that. Shit like that is invaluable. Yeah. In any kind of sport. If you're making changes, make them at the right point. Don't just hold on to your subs. Go, all right, we've got 24 players for this match. Yeah, but you've only used 15 of them. You've still got 9 fresh bodies just sitting on the sideline, just going, I could go and do this. And there was a few people that I knew that were on the sideline on Saturday that I thought that person could have made a difference. But no, you kept this player on who's a bit older, fair enough, he puts in a good game, but he's going to get tired quicker. You've got fresh legs, younger players.
Younger fresh legs sitting right there raring to go.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that you see that happen in every sport with a substitution system.
Yeah.
Is that before that sub goes out, coach brings them on, has a word with them, and also points to other people and was like, tell him to do that. You go like when you're on,
that. Push him out, pull him in. Like, make sure.
I can't run out on the pitch and yell at somebody in person. You go do it for me.
And it's getting kind of scary because we've got one game under the belt. We lost to Italy. We're still sitting mid-table. We're still sitting third on the table. Yeah. Which it's put us in a bit of a precarious position because we've got France next, and France can either be a terrible team to play against in that their defense and offense are just off the fucking charts, or they can be a phenomenal team to play against where they're just off the ball, and you can just score quick try after quick try. But given the way that they've been playing, particularly against England, I get that it's not really. Like England are meant to be, I think, the world number 4 or something at the moment. And they're meant to be the sort of the best of the best. I say that with a heavy amount of salt.
The media says they are best.
The media says that they're the best of the best, so it's understandable that a team like France could get put on the back foot by them, but we just need to play it by ear. We just need to be a bit more...
I mean, with these games, sometimes it's like, was that England's win or France's loss?
Yeah, I think there's a heavy element. I think we need to be a bit more adaptable. We need to try new things. Just say, right, front row worked from the last game, we'll keep them as is. This guy, he's off injured, we need to place him with him. Then we need to just change things about, try new things. I get that in the middle of a competition, it's not the time where you try new things, but you need to try different ways of working because we're burning through players through injuries, and we're so reluctant to change that player from their position until they get injured.
And a tired body will get injured easier.
Yeah.
And you can't have that if you're putting like Six Nations tournament. It's not Six Nations one-offs every now and again. Yeah, it is the next 6 weeks of our rugby.
Yep. And especially when we're going to France to play France this Saturday, we can afford no fuck-ups. I just think, especially after the Ireland game, Gregor Townsend's going to have to go to the drawing board and think, what went wrong? What can I do better? Because France's forwards pack is fucking monstrous.
Yeah.
They have a player called Bastero.
Right.
Who plays I think he's either a centre or a winger, and he looks like he should be in the front row. That's the kind of shit France play. They play people out of position, but it works. And their front row, their hooker, is one of the best in the game right now, so we can afford no fuck-ups against him.
Or it's going to be punishment time.
Or it's going to just be, oh, there's one try, there's another try. Scotland have scored nothing, they're on the back foot. And that's just like mentioning on the back foot. Scotland are a team that get disheartened very, very easily. So if there's a couple of quick tries scored against us, the heads go down, we get very disheartened. We cannot afford that against France. So we need to just majorly up the intensity, and we can become a bit more logical when it comes to subs.
We can do it. The problem is that the getting disheartened things at this point is in our sporting DNA.
Yeah.
It happens in every fucking sport we play, except curling. But
we stomp curling, we stop rowing, cycling, but when it comes to the sports that actually fucking matter,
Six Nations always it feels like we're just about to win. Like we don't have the same like with football. We're never getting close. No. Here we go with Scotland's World Cup campaign. Oh, you mean 4 games and then we go home? Excellent. Looking forward to it. And smashing.
That's good. I'll go put the kettle on. Oh wait, we're done. What the fuck?
Beer time it is then.
Yeah, let's go and drown our sorrows and hope for everybody to beat England.
But then again, rugby seems to work every now and again, and we get into good strides and we have good games and we have like not just good games but good tournaments where
good
we
campaigns.
Can see progress being made in the space of a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, during the World Cup, we got to the quarterfinals. No, we got to semi-finals. Yeah. We had to play Australia, then we would have went on to play the All Blacks for the final.
Yeah,
we could have got to the fucking final, but no, we got screwed over.
I want rugby to be great.
Yeah, I kind of want rugby to take over football in certain areas, but I know where we grew up, it's never going to happen.
Not even kind of.
The round ball is too much of a powerhouse. The egg has no pulling power.
Respect the egg, damn it.
Exactly. We egg chasers demand parity.
Equal time shall be afforded to
Both the egg and the sphere. Oh, dude, the egg and the sphere would be a great name for a pub.
Egg and Sphere.
The egg and sphere.
I like when Rooster Teeth did sports ball, they had the like a football, a soccer ball, a basketball, and an American football. And it took me a long time to realise it was in the shape of a dick. I don't know why it took me so long. I just thought it was like, okay, those are balls. Like those, it's sports ball. Those are sports balls. Oh, those are balls.
Those are balls.
Gotcha.
Every time I talk to anybody about like what they would call a bar, it's usually my older brother, and he's convinced that he's convinced himself that the best name for a bar would be the wrong place. So it's just like, hello, you've come to the wrong place.
Yeah.
Just next door's
I'm down with that.
Next door's a place called What, so everyone else just sounds confused. They're like, hello, welcome to What? Just to really fuck with people.
Your brother owns not just a chain of restaurants, but a chain of pubs.
The pub itself would be the wrong place, and you'd have a restaurant next door called What.
I thought it would just like he'd been working on this like list of like, I'm going on a street of pubs, but they will all have comedic names.
Those are weird names.
Why do you call your bar this? Fuck with people? I don't know.
Just mess with them. What's your other pub just called? It's just UH ...
Welcome to
So I phoned for reservations at this place, and the guy just went down the phone at me. I think there's something wrong with that boy.
Did you remember? I think it was a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
Talked about Machinima.
Yeah.
Just ditching all their content.
Yep. And now we know why.
They're just ditching all their staff.
Yeah, they're just ditching everything.
But there was a channel called Internet Today, which is hosted by Ricky and Elliot from formerly from Machinima's ETC channel, where they did entertainment, tech, and culture, and that was canned recently. They left recently when they realised what was going to happen, and they were told kind of like, hey, by the way, might want to look for something new before we shut down.
Might want to go get a new job.
Yeah, they let that channel shut down and let them go start their own thing. But they basically do the same job, but by themselves. So good for them, I guess. But they happened to talk about the fact that why they did the mass purge of content, and it was because there was a possibility of old lawsuits. Like, you have thousands of hours of content. How much of that is copyright material?
How much of that has now been claimed by additional people?
Yeah,
and other channels.
It's not worth the money. It's not worth the risk of content strikes on hundreds of videos.
Yeah.
Going back to the good old days of YouTube where people would just do what they want with what they wanted. You wouldn't, like, even though now there's a lot more people making their own stuff to use in their videos, it wouldn't surprise me if randomly just clips of movies were used in old Machinima videos, and they just were like, this is not worth the lawsuit, delete, and just removed a ton of content from like way back.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see that news, especially from people who are from Machinima and who like maybe not like have an inside line, but like would understand why things were done. Yeah. So shout out to those guys for actually putting that information, because it was really weird. Yeah. Really confusing.
But it's good that they've went and done their own thing though, and it's a thing that I think we've started to see a lot more of, and we have not seen the end of it. Is people that used to work for, take for example, Phil DeFranco with was it Group 7? No. Group 9.
Yeah, Group 9.
He used to work for Group 9, and then he was part of the whole SourceFed Discovery thing. Then he just decided, you know what, you have cancelled SourceFed, I no longer want to work with you, I'm going to do the whole Rogue Rocket thing.
I think he was out there before that. Yeah. It was long before they cancelled SourceFed. He was like, I'm just done with SourceFed, and just gave it to them.
Yeah. I think he did that so that he could pay them. I think he was paying for SourceFed out of his own pocket. Then once that kind of finished, he just went and did something else. And now the Rogue Rocket thing's going pretty fucking well. The whole Patreon thing is just launched. I still don't think he's fully launched the whole Rogue Rocket thing.
They're not even close. They've barely done anything.
Yeah.
He's incorporating Rogue Rocket's bits and pieces into his daily show. Yeah. And he's like doing bits and pieces like to get those guys into their own kind of styles, and they make their own content, but I actually haven't seen anything from them that was very special. Yeah. I know that they just, to me right now, seem like a publishing
group. I think he wants them to be a kind of SourceFed 2.0, which is going to be, we're going to talk about the news, we're going to do the stories, the whole white wall videos, what have you. But like you said, shit like this just takes time. You can't build a kind of media empire or a media service just with the click of your fingers. You need to build shit.
Especially with right now, there's a lot of people being laid off.
Yeah.
In journalism, and it's because they were basically pumping up numbers from a majority, like the majority of the places I've seen so far. It's the same story of the investors were due to be getting their look into the numbers of what was going on. A bunch of stuff collapsed, and it's all just kind of collapsed and caved in on itself, and that's resulted in people 10% of people from BuzzFeed or something getting laid off.
Yeah. Well,
wow,
it's not a big loss.
Well, I mean, not so much for the BuzzFeed side of things because we just don't enjoy their content, but there's other places.
I mean, there are
doing similar things.
Yeah, there are certain people that enjoy BuzzFeed's stuff, but I don't know how, but they do.
There's also gaming's getting hit as well.
Yeah, the gamers getting hit pretty hard because on most sort of gaming videos, you're going to want to use the soundtracks from that game.
And I'm talking about there's games companies are getting
all right, games companies
they're losing people.
All right.
They are I think it was Activision.
Mm-hmm.
Activision
Sounds
and Blizzard have started just gunning people down. I think EA's about to start doing that as well. There's been two big publishers have decided, and Take-Two has apparently posted losses. I'm like, oh boy, that's a lot of big developers.
Ah, shit, we're never going to get Borderlands 3 at this fucking rate.
It was never happening. I'm sorry,
No,
but I'd love it. I'd kill for that game to come out, but...
That's the thing, the pre-sequel, I think, kind of killed it for a lot of people, because it was just Borderlands 2, but in space.
That and
we don't need more.
The Telltale games.
Yeah, Telltale games weren't great.
Once you've got to, making a Telltale spin-off... I mean, I'm sorry, those were not fun games.
No, they weren't. They were good little graphic novels if you just didn't really want to play a game. But at the same time, the rumour or the rule that if you make a Telltale game, that's where your game goes to die, is kind of becoming more and more true, because we had Batman, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Arkham Origins, all fucking fantastic games, with talks about doing another Batman Arkham game in the same style, in the same universe, but from... Nightwing's side of things, Robin's side of things, Damian Wayne, or maybe, Green Arrow or another hero. Then the Telltale games happened. All buzz around Batman games just stopped.
Yeah.
Same with Guardians of the Galaxy, because people wanted a party system style Guardians of the Galaxy type game where maybe you go and hunt different treasures or go and respond to different things. But then the Telltale Guardians games came out. All that was swept to the side.
I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah, they did. Same with they did Back to the Future, they did Guardians of the Galaxy, they did The Walking Dead, which is the only one that got out of there unscathed.
Yeah.
But now The Walking Dead is limping on, as far as I'm concerned.
As a franchise, it's basically dead in the water. It's a shame because as much as I enjoy random, not great zombie games, I'd actually quite like a good polished zombie game, but not in Resident Evil style where it's you're in a room with 5 zombies.
Yeah, I want Left 4 Dead 3, that's what I want.
Yeah. I want something along those lines.
And that's what I genuinely thought Overkill's The Walking Dead was going to be, but apparently that game is terrible.
That's the one where it was, what's his name? Daryl. Daryl was in the cover, and it was just him running around. It's survival type game.
Aye, that was Survive The Walking Dead or something like that.
Yeah. And
that was not good. No, Overkill's The Walking Dead was literally just meant to be a 4-player online Left 4 Dead style game set in the Walking Dead universe. But apparently it was just quite literally just, here's Left 4 Dead, and now screen wipe, here's Overkill's The Walking Dead. It's just exactly the same.
Anyone else suspicious? Nah, not me.
Just apparently it wasn't good. It tried to be Left 4 Dead to the degree that it became something completely different.
Yeah.
I heard it was not a good game, so I completely just left it. So if I look for a game that's to be played in the same style as Left 4 Dead, I always go with Vermintide, because I recently bought Vermintide 2 for £6.
I got Games with Gold or Games with Gold for the first one, and then Games Pass had the second one on. Those are good games.
Yeah, really good games.
Game.
I got them through Steam on a Lunar New Year sale.
Any excuse. Steam.
Any excuse in Steam are just have all these games for £3 each. Your wallet will fucking hate me.
Welcome to the Fuck It It's Sunday sale.
Yeah. Welcome to the Hello Mother. My mum came round for tea sale. Buy Octodad to make her think that your dad's still alive.
Welcome to the ticking clock on the wall sale. Seriously, I'm running out of ideas here. Please send up.
Welcome to the Friday at 5 o'clock sale. You're going home for the weekend. Here, have some free games.
Welcome to my pencil sharpener broke sale. Fuck.
Welcome to the I got a new dog.
Celebrate my new dog with some 20% off Steam sales. Jesus.
My wife left me. Here, have some discounted video games.
I'm secretly mad at Gabe Newell's sale. All games are free.
When's the Half-Life 3 going to happen sale?
Change the store banner to when Half-Life 3. Never. And honestly,
no, it's never going to happen. I don't think at this point it could happen and people would be happy with the product, which leads me expertly to Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, pretty much. There's 3s in both of those.
Yep.
Oh, right, the disappointment thing.
The disappointment, yeah.
I gotcha. You're smart.
Could have easily finished that game in 10 hours.
That's not good.
Nope.
For
really
a
not.
Square Enix game, that's not good.
I've managed to stretch it out to 50 hours. And that's been me collecting, getting the Ultima weapon. That's been me doing the final boss. That's me doing post-game content. I've not
ran in a circle for 3 hours.
I literally flew about the one of the hub worlds just collecting sort of upgrades and stuff for the gummy ship. The game is apparently it's meant to be one of the biggest Kingdom Hearts games to date.
Right.
Doesn't feel like it. I mean that's not saying that it's a bad game, right? I'm going to get the negative shit out of the way first and foremost, and I should also take this as a chance to mention that me and Argic are working on a full review of this, literally molecular level type breakdown.
Right.
So that's why I'm not really going to go in depth here. But like we're just kind of like talking about it just now. We haven't got anything concrete. We'll try to figure out, do we record it or do we video it or stream it? But the bad things about it is the game is too damn easy. I played it on the hardest difficulty you could, and I still died a grand total of 5 times.
Oof. For the hardest difficulty?
For the hardest difficulty you can get. There's no... Because in most Kingdom Hearts games, you get beginner mode, easy, standard, then you get proud mode, which is your hard mode, and then you get critical mode, which is very hard mode. Critical mode isn't in this game. So you get beginner, standard, proud.
Huh.
I immediately went to proud mode and I thought, right, this game kind of easy, but it might just be,
maybe they're giving me proud mode and I finish that and unlock critical.
So I thought, right, I'll go through proud mode, even though this is meant to be hard mode. Maybe I'm just getting first act leniency.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, okay, game's not getting much more difficult. Right, I know what I'll do. I'll stick to the opening Keyblade. I'm wrecking people with the opening Keyblade. Maybe I'll change Keyblade. Maybe I'll go a weaker Keyblade. Nope, still fucking everybody up. What the hell?
There isn't one. Whoops.
It's like I started off at the first point, and I thought, right, I won't use Grand Magic, which is when you use 3 types or 3 shots of the same magic, you get a bigger version of that magic. So if you get fire, you get the next stage up.
You go all in, basically.
Yeah. But once you get to, how there's fire, and Firaga, and then it goes on through, like Firaga's that. Well, you've got fire, which is the normal sort of weaker level. Fira, next stage up. Firaga is the strongest fire magic that you can get.
Okay.
And depending on which version of fire you use, you then get the grand magic that's one stage up for that. So if you cast 3 fires and you fill up your little focus meter, you get to cast Fira without wasting your MP. Okay. So once you get to Firaga, you cast 3 Firagas and you get Firaza. Right. And that's just like a big fucking epic explosion of fire. You can do that at any point during combat. Just cast 3 of the same magics and then you get your grand magic. That can happen at any point in the game. Another thing they've incorporated into this is a thing called attractions, where you summon the big rides and stuff. Don't know if you've seen that in any of the trailers that you might have watched or come across. Or
Nah, not really seen anything.
Or you might have probably watched it on Argic stream.
I saw him in like boss fights.
Yeah,
that was the only thing I saw.
Cool. Well, at this point, you can summon Disney rides that can do damage. Like you summon the Pirates of the Caribbean sort of ship, and then that kind of rocks back and forward, and you can shoot. Okay. You can catch enemies with that. It's fucking weird to watch. And you can summon the teacup rides, and then you can just spin around like fucking angry Beyblades and hit enemies with them. It's as weird as it sounds.
It sounds a mess. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds kind of messy.
And again, if you hit any enemy that has a green crown and it's kind of lock-on symbol, if you go up and hit that, you then get the attraction. And that's like an extra move that you can do in the game. You can do that at any point from the start of the game. You don't need to unlock it. This is your ability. This is Sora's new power for Kingdom Hearts 3. And it makes the game so fucking easy. I poured through menus, just like, can I turn this off? It is way too easy. No, it's just there. What I ended up doing was I'd get the command, because it comes as a little triangle reaction command above your sort of main menu thing, or your main command menu. I would just leave it there until the timer ran out, so that it would just disappear, because I thought I was just making the game too fucking easy.
That's bad game design.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's maybe just you play these games so you maybe know the mechanics.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I thought, well, maybe I'll try not to do it how I would traditionally play it. How I would traditionally play it is, like, circle and square, or circle and X are your best friends because you just jump and attack.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, I'll stick to mainly ground-based combat. Oh wait, I instantly go up into the air, 6th hit on my ground string. So right, disabled that. No, I tried many different ways to try and make this game more difficult. Didn't even happen. Then with your keyblades, they can transform into different weapons.
Yeah.
I stuck with the main kingdom key, the starting weapon, because that doesn't have any transformations. Nope, still too fucking easy.
It's really bad to hear that you had to make the game harder for yourself.
And that's the I was because I got it late, as we all know, the fucking saga with son of a bitch. I mentioned them, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
You're gonna have to bleep that out. Don't bleep out the rest of it. Just don't you dare fucking clap.
I need to find where it is.
All right, cool. So I waited for this game to get delivered, and now it did get delivered to me. So I thought, right, I'm going to take my time with it. I finished Resident Evil 2 before, so I thought, right, I'm going to take my time with it. And before I know it, I'd finished 4 worlds out of 10. I was like, right, this game isn't really too difficult. It's not too difficult, but maybe they can pick it up in other ways. And they do, but not really. They pick it up in the sense that you can play as the other characters, but you play as them for a boss fight each.
Oh.
So you play as Riku. You do one boss fight as Riku. Then you play as another character called Aqua, and it's one boss fight.
Yeah.
I remember reading, again, it was a couple of years ago now, interviews with Tetsuya Nomura, who makes Kingdom Hearts, saying that at some point you'll be able to play as every single Keyblade wielder that's in the main sort of party.
And technically, he might not be wrong, but...
Oh, he's very wrong.
All right.
There's 7 of them, you play as 3.
Oh.
I was like, you promised us that.
I think the problem is that this game has been in development for so long.
Yeah.
But he could not have possibly kept every promise he made.
Yeah, that's true.
He's made thousands.
Yeah.
But also, I think at a certain point, like, the ideas that started off kind of all the high points and the lows kind of just smudge into this weird, unfortunately easy middle ground.
Yeah.
So there's probably sections that you were supposed to blaze through.
Yeah.
Like first chapter leniency.
Yeah.
Where it's just, oh, look at this, I can headshot everybody from like half a mile away. What a surprise. And then all of a sudden you meet the guy who can do that to you and you're like, now I gotta change how I think about this game.
Now I need to change tactics, but that's the bad thing. The bad thing is that it's too easy and some of the rides make it a bit too difficult. Make it a bit too easy. There's no difficulty rise or spike.
Yeah.
To me, that's about 10% of the overall game. I'd say that's about 10% of the game that I don't like. The rest of it is all just 90% of good Kingdom Hearts. Like the story is probably as good as it's ever been. Like you get the sense that the only reason that the main character Sora's not getting more involved is because he got fucked up in the other game. The story behind Sora is that in every point he rises to a certain level of strength and a bad thing happens to him to crash him right back down.
Okay.
Like, because there's also a hint that this might be deliberate, because if he reaches a certain amount of power, he becomes a target, and then there's a whole host of theories as to why Sora never truly reaches the right power level. But in the game that came out before Kingdom Hearts 3, or the game in the story and the timeline that came out before Kingdom Hearts 3, was a game called Dream Drop Distance,
right,
which was all about Sora and Riku getting their mark of mastery, becoming Keyblade Masters. Sora fails because he gives in to the darkness. They need to stay on brand.
Like a bitch.
And that basically fucks him up. That strips him of all the power that he gained from Kingdom Hearts 2 and Dream Drop Distance. So
right,
it is quite fitting that Sora doesn't really interact with other characters because they've got to that power level. They're all as strong as they could be. They're like, no, you need to go and do the baby work again because you're a fucking idiot who gave in to the darkness. We're going to go and do
establish yourself and go fix your shit.
Which leads me to another bad point about Kingdom Hearts 3. Right, why would I want to then play Sora as he rebuilds himself? Why can I not go play as Riku and the King? Like, I want to go play as those guys.
It makes sense from an RPG perspective.
Yeah.
To make you like level up and grind through and unlock abilities and learn how to use them, so that when you get handed a full character closer at the end, you wouldn't just be thrown with all these toys and being like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 ways that most RPGs start, which is you have nothing, you build to God tier, or you start at God tier, get your ass handed to you, and build back up to God tier again. And that, frankly, I think I'd prefer starting with nothing, going to God tier. The amount of times you start an RPG and it's like, here's the tutorial mission where you know everything and you can kill everyone with a couple button presses, but we need to keep pausing to show you the button presses.
Yeah. that was another part where Sora, he starts in the previous game like being right. Sora's as strong as he's ever been in 2. Then he gets his ass kicked in Dream Drop Distance. He never really reaches back up to stupidly powerful Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora again. He gets about halfway between his original sort of strength at Kingdom Hearts 1 and this new level of strength in Kingdom Hearts 3, but he never really gets to as strong as he used to be. You even get the sense that at one point, like Riku just out and out says that you're never going to be as strong as you used to be.
Like, kind of a shitty thing to say to your partner or colleague or whatever.
It's like, yeah, you're one of the like 7 groups of Keyblade, or one of the 7 Keyblade wielders that are going to stop the apocalypse. Like, and you're just saying to him, dude, I've surpassed you. He goes straight Vegeta on him and just goes, there's a reason I'm a Keyblade master.
It's not even like I've surpassed you. It's like if I turned to you and went, Dom, your glory days have passed. Yeah. You're like, the fuck does that mean?
That's pretty much what he says, something along those lines. Obviously, he's not going to be out and out, dude, you suck, because it's a Disney / Square Enix game. But
hey, look at him, it's Captain Suckerbutt.
It's Captain Useless. To be honest, it's gotten to the point where like Sora has had to get his ass saved so many times, and he's had to have so many things happen to him to get him to this point where he's not really an interesting character anymore. I'd rather play as, any of the other characters from previous games, like one of the 3 Keyblade wielders that he played as in Birth by Sleep, or Riku. Fucking let me play King Mickey, the overpowered shit that he'll be. Because at one point in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, he just walks into a room and raises his Keyblade and things die.
Is King Mickey the one where he's got the hoodie on?
He transitions between different outfits.
There are many Mickeys in the multiverse.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, at one point he shows up, he's got this weird black trench coat on. Next point he's got shorts and a hoodie and stuff. They change him depending on what point of the game he's in.
See, Kingdom Hearts, have they done... There was a Disney game before Disney was like an all-conquering force, and they had like a game about Mickey having to live in a world that was being like... Disney's a colourful world, but it was...
was that Epic Mickey?
Epic Mickey, yeah, and it was all about the black paint and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have they done anything with that?
They kind of did. There was a world in Kingdom Hearts 2 where it was all monochrome and sort of 1930s style. But that's kind of the closest they got to it.
But was that old school Disney where it's like Steamboat?
That was old school Steamboat Willie type thing. Like, 'cause all the characters were redrawn in this style. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. But I was thinking, man, that was a weird IP like that, Epic Mickey.
Yeah.
I was like, that kind of cool. Like, I'm surprised.
Yeah, something like that would be cool in Kingdom Hearts 3, but they never really go anywhere with it. But
Epic Mickey DLC
could be, but they've left it very wide open for DLC, which I think is going to happen because certain things happen at the end where with Sora that is going to have to get resolved because Kingdom Hearts 4 is almost a certainty at this point. The way they end 3, it's going to happen. But one of the fucking amazing things about Kingdom Hearts 3 is the fact that so many questions from other titles get answered in this one. You're like, oh, who's that guy? Holy shit, that's who that guy is? Holy fuck. That's amazing. And how they tie things back in. And the boss fights are genuinely the shining light in this game. You fight a boss in the Frozen world, Arendelle, called Skull, who's this giant wolf heartless that basically just drops a spirit bomb of darkness on you, and you have to put... I
saw Argic fighting that one.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Genuinely one of the coolest fucking boss fights in the entire game.
Dude, that looks like Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's great. Even some of the Disney boss fights are really cool. When you fight Davy Jones aboard the Dutchman,
all right,
fucking awesome. Davy Jones sounds like ass though.
Okay,
you know how in Parts of the Caribbean, is it on Stranger Tides or Dead Man? No, it's Dead Man's Chest. When you're first introduced to Davy Jones, expertly played by Bill Nighy. Bill Nighy, not Bill Nye. I've made that mistake before. Like Bill Nye, the science guy, was Davy Jones. What the fuck? No, Bill Nighy, the esteemed English actor. Whenever he would say something, he put in a little extra enunciation. Like he would go, "Jack Sparrow, our debt is settled."
Yeah, and
he would say that every so often. In Kingdom Hearts 3, it's on the end of every word, like Jack Sparrow. Wah. Welcome to the Flying Dutchman. It sounds like one of those. Remember Preacher Bot from Futurama? Yeah. It's like, welcome to the Flying Dutchman.
Did you okay? Maybe.
I may have had a stroke. But yeah, voice acting aside, probably one of the best boss fights in the game. I was ragging on the Keyblades and how they do make it a bit easier, but how the Keyblades can transform in between sort of different levels. If you get the Keyblade from the Big Hero 6 level, San Francisco, which was a fucking delight for the eyes. They basically just made different areas of a fused Tokyo and San Francisco that you can just run about in. And it's pretty fucking cool. But the Keyblade that you get from there basically allows you to use the nanobots from Big Hero 6.
I've not seen that movie, but...
Great movie, but it fails in comparison to its original Marvel counterpart, which I'll tell you about later. But you can use the nanobots from that game to basically just make different weapons. So you can just you push square or triangle a couple of times, and you can just put out a couple of giant robot punches. You can make a drill, and it just basically combos into different things. The stuff that you can do with the Keyblades is pretty cool, but again, it makes the game too easy. Then you get the Ultima weapon, you're just like, oh, why do they call it the Ultima weapon? Holy shit, I can strip 4 health bars away with one press of X.
Jesus.
It's ridiculous. There's a reason why they kind of make it a bit more difficult to get in this game.
Yeah.
Because it does make the game hella easy.
So that's...
I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Just given how the ending plays out, how it wraps up other people's storylines. There's still 3 huge questions that still need to be answered. Concerning... one of the sort of cutscene in one of the movies that you watch in the Kingdom Hearts 2.8 bundle.
Right.
In that one, you got Kingdom Hearts 0.2, which was Aqua's story after Birth by Sleep. That was basically a little tech demo from Kingdom Hearts 3. Same engine, same battle style, that kind of thing. Yeah. Then you had a HD remake of Dream Drop Distance, which is basically just Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance taken from 3DS, upscaled, upraised, put on the PS4. Then you had the sort of cutscene movie of Kingdom Hearts Key back cover, which was the mobile game that no one played. So they just condensed it into the cutscenes, the pertinent information, and put that on the disc so you could watch it. It takes about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours.
That's not bad.
It saves me, because I had the game on my phone. I sunk about 18 hours into that, and I barely got past one of the opening worlds.
Shit.
I was like, fuck that. I'm not. Maybe they should have took cues from that from Kingdom Hearts 3. But it concerns a few characters from that game, and there was one main character in that called the Master of Masters, who was this kind of enigmatic character that just wanted to see how shit unfolded. Basically a very kind of chaotic Joker type character. It's just, I just want to see what happens.
Yeah.
And then certain things happen with characters that were in that sort of game. They appear at the end of 3, and there's just more questions that need answered that kind of detracts from the whole, oh cool, we got an ending to that, but wait, who's this guy? Oh shit, now I need to remember more shit.
Now there's more questions.
But no, I'd probably say it is a fitting end to the Xehanort saga, as they called it. Mm-hmm. Certain things they could have done better, but all in all, I say it's a good solid 9 out of 10.
If you wanted to find out what the actual, maybe not the finer points, but the general gist of the Kingdom Hearts story is, if you're like an Xbox player like me who's missed out on all these games.
Oh, it's out on Xbox.
No, like the previous game.
Yeah, 3. I don't get why all the 1.8s, 2.8, or 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, they're only on PlayStation. But Kingdom Hearts 3 is on Xbox.
Yeah.
Makes no fucking sense.
But there's a summary of Kingdom Hearts in half an hour. It's a good enough summary. It's literally called A Good Enough Summary of Kingdom Hearts by Barry Kramer. I cannot recommend that video hard enough. It is a guy trying to explain what his friend said took about 7 hours of just sitting down chatting to the guy on a live stream to explain all of Kingdom Hearts, like everything he could think. Like the guy took notes.
Yeah.
Like he took notes into this like it was a meeting. And he said, I will explain Kingdom Hearts to you. We're starting now. 7 hours later.
Yeah.
He has enough notes to make a video where he cuts it down to half an hour.
How many notepads did he burn through? Hold on, need to change notepad. Pens ran out.
By the end of the video, you can see he burned out of his soul.
I could try and explain Kingdom Hearts to you, but I don't think I would do that because it'd be akin to torture at this point.
Give Barry Kramer's video a go.
Yeah.
It is hilarious. I'll send you a link and I'll put it out on our Twitter. Just say, we talked about Kingdom Hearts. This is what you need to know before we go into discussion of Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I did talk about it a bit more than I wanted to. I wanted to just kind of skim it and move on. But if you want to see a more in-depth sort of kind of disassembly of the game, me and Argic are working on it. We just need to scheduling wise and figure out how we're going to put it out. More than likely, it probably will just be a long-form YouTube video.
Yeah. And
we're just going to fire that up. It'll probably be anywhere between an hour and a half to 3 hours, depending on how in-depth we go. Because I know...
Holy shit.
Argit definitely has some gripes with that game. He has some loves of that game, same as me. We both kind of picked it up at the same time, so I think he'd be the perfect, because originally I thought this would be fun if I had Colin on board, but you just stare at me blankly through it, just going, okay, so what does Donald do?
Why is the duck there? Why?
Why is the comic relief? But that's enough. Right, last point I want to say about Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 1, Goofy does fuck all. Kingdom Hearts 2, Goofy dies. It gives you that momentary
moment of joy where you
that
say,
moment,
yes, he's dead.
That moment where you think, shit, we need to up our game. Kingdom Hearts 3, Goofy is the smartest motherfucker. At some point you're just going, what do we do next? Goofy just goes, the door's over there, fuck his, let's go. he drops the voice, like, guys, I'm ditching the voice, I'm a smart dude. You're all fucking idiots.
I've been fucking it up right here, but
it's just, no, I'm done.
Can't stand it anymore. I was hit by a boulder last time.
Yeah.
We cannot have this shit going.
You guys, like, that brought back my intelligence. I'm no longer an idiot.
The boulder knocked loose a bit of my brain, but it knocked it into another
sandwiched
piece.
it back together. Now I'm an intelligent man again.
Now I'm a functioning dog adult.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
if Goofy's a dog and he can talk, what does that make Pluto? Because Pluto's a dog as well. He's just brain damaged.
What is Goofy again?
Goofy's a dog.
Goofy is a dog, yeah.
But Pluto's also a dog.
Does that? This raises several questions.
Exactly. Answer. Go on Twitter, right? If Goofy is a dog, right? Feel free to direct message me directly at domanderson-25 on Twitter. If Goofy's a dog, what is Pluto? Because he's also a dog. Does Pluto just have brain damage and think he's quadrupedal? At some point, is Pluto just going to stand up and go, wait, I can talk. I don't just need to bark like an idiot. What happened to my hands?
Goofy's in the back like, finally.
Jesus Christ. You're my brother, for Christ's sake.
Do you know we're brother and sister? No, didn't think so.
You didn't even know you were a girl, did you?
Keep trying to lick your own balls. That's how fucking dumb you are.
Oh, God. Anyway, that's my last point in Kingdom Hearts. We'll try and get the full breakdown.
That'll be interesting, because I do need to try and figure out what the fuck. Because somebody came up to me, there's a guy who's playing it at work, and he just comes up and he's like, oh, I've been playing him, it's amazing, this happens, and you're never going to guess what happens with this guy. Can't believe this is what's going on with him. And I'm like, I don't play these games. And he went, what? And I went, I do not play these games. I don't get it. I don't really enjoy Final Fantasy. Disney's cool, I guess. Like, I'm up for it if it's funny, but I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's one thing when I always say to people, like, have you played Kingdom Hearts? More often than not, they go, no, and I'm not really interested. It's like, cool, I'll just say it was a good game. I'm not going to go into it, because I guarantee you're just going to sit there scratching your head going, so King Mickey can set people on fire. Also, Mickey Mouse is a king. Explain that to me. Yeah. Right. Ultimately, 9 out of 10. It was a good Return of the Jedi for the Kingdom Hearts series. Ultimately flawed, but still a good cap. Good cap to the series.
Do you say 4 is inevitable?
4 is inevitable. The way 3 ends, unless you're doing lengthy DLC, which DLC is a certainty, because, well, Nomura basically said DLC's a certainty.
I mean, they made so many 2-point blah 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 games that it'd be ridiculous not to try and spin that. The only reason they did that is because DLC wasn't a thing.
Yeah, they wanted to just keep saying, right, we need to keep the people interested, so let's just keep spinning this out and out and out to keep people invested in this, so that when 3 comes around, they're not just jaded and angry as fuck that they've had to wait 12, almost 13 years for a game.
The thing for me though is I think seeing the amount of things that the 2-point whatever games like twist into like presenting 3, I think that was more the intention. That was just to like, oh, we need to set up this thing to make this thing make sense. Like, as long as it all makes sense in 3, as long as it's not like, that guy doesn't need to be there, what the fuck's he doing? But there's kind of the idea of the 7 versus the 13.
Yeah, they do set that up, but they don't really set that up until the 3DS title, Dream Drop Distance. They never really set up the fact that, I suppose you could argue that in when you first meet the organisation, that's when they set up the idea that they needed to be 13 people who were attuned to the darkness. But there's no real hint that these guys are for that purpose. They just want to, have control of the ultimate power.
They could be another nefarious scheme.
Yeah, but they never really plant the seeds for what's to come next. Effectively, you always have to dig for them through, secret reports and what have you.
Right. So, before back from a quick technical break, that we wouldn't use technical music for. I want to give a quick shout out to a YouTuber that I found recently called Moonhorse the Horse.
Bit of a redundant name, but Moonhorse the Horse.
And I'm going to just go quick find, because I found the guy through, I was a big fan of Reddit's Just Neckbeard things and Neckbeard Tales, and found that there was a guy doing audio kind of dramatization readings of them. And I found it because he did a...
So is this some kind of thespian just taking all the weird neckbeard ramblings and doing them as art?
Not thespian, because if you're in the UK, you might have seen Charles Dance reading as part of Big Fat Quiz of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll read like really trashy autobiographies. So you'll have like Katie Price's autobiography, or like, was it Snooki? He did Snooki one year. It was hilarious. Charles Dance reading.
Oh, when he did Joey Essex. I thought
Joey Essex,
that was
did that
perfect.
One. Just
the
him
dumbest man on the planet next to being read by Charles Dance.
It's watching somebody put the full might of oration into the writings of someone with the vocabulary of a 10-year-old.
Yeah. Who can't blow his nose. He can't blow his nose like a professional.
He can't blow his nose.
I think it might have been on Big Fat Quiz of the Year. It was just Jimmy Carter.
I can't blow my nose, can it?
No, it was one of those, here's this clip, guess what he's going to say next. And it's like, in this clip, Joey Essex can't do something like a professional. What is that? And it's just, he can't blow his nose. And he's like, I can blow my nose the Joey way, but I can't blow my nose the professional way. Like, what's the professional way and what's the fucking Joey way? I assumed there was just one fucking way to blow your nose, but no, apparently there's a professional way and a Joey Essex way. Cunt.
He's a very special boy.
Yeah, he's a cunt.
It's not at the level of thespian dramatic readings. It's just him trying to read through the storyline without cracking up. But when he cracks, it's fantastic. Just because he is reading these stories and is like, how much of this am I like kind of related to as a kind of geeky person? You're like, I've seen this, I've done this, or I know somebody who did this. And it was one from I think the one that put me on his channel was one where he was going through a Warhammer battle about a guy meeting a female player who was using custom bits, who had the custom bits make the Space Marines female. Space Marines are all male, if you're not familiar with Warhammer 40k, which must be nice. But if you don't just have the lore stuck in your head.
Yeah, if you don't know the Horus Heresy off the top of your head, that must be nice.
Must be nice to know humanity has a nice future, motherfuckers. Look, the space vampires are coming for us. We need to deal with this shit now. But you listen to him go
Someone
through
has opened the warp. We need to get on top of that shit now.
You have like him going through the story, and then my playback of it was like, oh my god, I've been there, where the guy freaks out about your custom, not because of custom bits made you female, because if you can't make Chaos Space Marines female, what is Slanesh supposed to do?
Yeah.
How is he supposed to get that to work? I just was listening to that going, I've been there when that guy has that freak out in the store and it's like, you can't have that bit, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, WYSIWYG.
It's not canon. I just was stuck there thinking, god damn it, this is like his series and all these Neckbeard tales are so relatable. And it's one thing to read them through the text, but it's another to just have somebody just talk their way through the story. He does a really good job. And weirdly enough, I found him, subscribed to his YouTube channel, so we'd see more of what he was going to do. Mm-hmm. And then he followed me on Twitter.
No, nice.
And I'd literally finished writing my notes to say, oh, remember it mentioned there was this guy out there reading these channels, or reading these Reddit posts and making them into kind of dramatic readings with a couple of edits, and it's quite funny and you might check it out. And he follows me on Twitter. And I opened up a DM with him and said, oh, I'd literally just going to talk about you on a podcast. It's nice to see you're following me, it was a weird coincidence, but yeah, nice to meet you. And he said he didn't know much about Warhammer 40k, and I just said, if you want a consult, I have all this shit stuck in my head, you might as well use it. So if we might get some questions from that Moonface, or that Moonhorse, yeah, I need to check his name. It's Moonhorse the Horse.
That Moonface the Horse.
We might be consulting with Moonhorse the Horse.
Oh, cool, nice.
So it was nice. It's nice to have like with YouTube channels hitting like 1 million subscribers every day. There's like they've doubled the number. I don't know if you saw that they put out a YouTube, or Susan Wozniak or whatever her name is, the woman who is like the CEO of YouTube. She puts out random videos to update YouTube creators, and I get the email inbox stuff. And she was like, yeah, sorry we broke a lot of records this year. including YouTube Rewind being the most downloaded or disliked video of all time.
Yeah, that was not a good video. People did not take kindly to that video one iota.
Garbage though.
It was pretty fucking shit.
And it was really. My favorite quote from hers, and it's the quote that keeps going around the internet, is, "Even my kids told me it was cringy." Like, oh.
When you start off with Will Smith, who's not even a YouTuber, going, "Oh yeah, rewind time," no.
To be fair, that's fine. They had The Rock in it last year, and it's like these weird celebrity cameos are kind of fun if it's done right and it's played for laughs.
Yeah.
Why not?
I can kind of see where they come from, but it's just what made me cringe was just you're trying to be so relatable, but you're talking about stuff that happened a couple of years ago. Because are people still on that K-pop dick?
No, they are. They're getting much worse.
Yeah, they're now sliding further in.
They're a bit balls deep on the K-pop dick.
Yeah.
The thing for me though was they've got Twitch on. They've got Twitch's Ninja on there.
Yeah.
He's not a YouTuber.
Nope.
I don't know if he posts YouTube videos or there's compilations.
He probably takes his VODs and stuff and puts them on YouTube.
But he's not a YouTuber.
No, absolutely not.
Will Smith at least puts YouTube videos on. Every now and again he'll have a video.
Yeah.
And it's overproduced. It's not a YouTuber's YouTube video. It's Will Smith's YouTube video.
It's a movie star making YouTube videos. Let's put it that way.
It's a production company powering a YouTube video. And I will say that at least he does that. I don't think Ninja does anything YouTube related.
No, I think he's mainly on Twitch because I think he gets paid by Twitch.
Oh, he's a partner.
Yeah,
he'll
have the partner scheme.
Top tier partner at this point. Yeah. Actually, if we're going to talk about gamers would recommend, there is one. Actually, I was going to say as well. Did you see? Have you seen any Jack Black's YouTube videos?
Yeah,
he puts them up under the name of Jablinski Games.
Yeah, Jablinski Games.
And the running joke is that he can't game.
Yeah.
Like his Elgato capture is wrong, and he always mispronounces Elgato. I think he calls it Delgato.
Delgato. I think the last video that he put up was him and his son just jamming. Like his son was playing drums, he was just jamming a bit on the guitar, or he was just singing. But I think the only thing close to a video game that he's went to or played was when he went to the pinball museum.
Yeah.
But he keeps saying stuff like, "Oh, the video games are coming. I just need to get my Elgato or Delgato."
I need to get my Delgato set up and stuff. And yeah, he's quite funny. Like his editing's really over the top as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's him. I don't think there's anybody helping him with this. I think it's just him.
I think it's him. It's probably him and his son doing.
I think his sons are involved.
Yeah,
definitely they're involved. But at the same time, you can tell this is just Jack Black running around with a camera doing Jack Black shit.
Yeah.
It's quite fun.
Can you imagine what it's going to be like when he actually gets to streaming, when he gets his setup and then just go, "Oh, here's me playing Brutal Legend," remember? Because I was in that game. Can you imagine him doing something like that? That'd be pretty funny.
I could see him playing Brutal Legend for the shits and giggles.
Yeah, then getting frustrated beyond all belief when he gets to the final fight.
But who's the other thing? Oh yeah, I was gonna say there's a Twitch streamer that I really like watching, but I watch his compilation videos. He hires an editor, says, "Look, I'm gonna stream this game. Can you take the VOD and make it into like a 20-minute clip or 20-minute highlight reel?" And it's called Shroud. Now Shroud is a former, he's Cloud9, but he's a former MLG gamer, and he's phenomenal. I was gonna say he's a beast, but he's not. He's a machine. He's just that's the thing that I noticed with my gaming. I panic. I don't think I've seen Shroud flapped once. Not he's flapping in the wind. This guy is so calm. You can
level-headed.
He could run around the corner, find 5 guys with a shotgun, and be like, "I got this. I know how to do this."
Yeah.
Because he's been playing since CS:GO was competitive, so that's years, and he's been there from the get-go. And now he's just well, I can't really play MLG levels anymore, but I'm still better than 99% of the gamers out there. Yeah. I'll just wreck shit on Twitch. So he's phenomenal. Give him a chance to just watch him. If you want to play Apex Legends, watch his stuff. He knows his stuff.
I'll give him a look, because I think Apex Legends is the only battle royale game that I'm going to give any fair shake.
I would. Really good. I've
tried Fortnite. I've tried PUBG. I've tried various other battle royale type games. They've all been shit.
Do you enjoy Overwatch?
Not anymore. I was going to say not as much as I used to, but let's call a spade a spade. Not anymore.
No.
It's because I left for quite a while because of a crappy PC. The community is now advanced way beyond what I used to be.
Yeah.
And there's so many new characters and new ways to play that with my tiny understanding of Reinhardt,
right,
can keep up. I cannot keep up with current play, so I've just decided not to play.
But you like the idea of like the hero shooter?
Yeah, I like the idea of the team-based shooters.
Apex has that.
Right.
So that's what I was like, ooh, that's interesting. That's a nice twist. That you have abilities like, I have the smoke grenades, I have the orbital bombardment, but there's another guy who has like zip lines. He can zip out the map. I'm like, okay, well, that's different. I'll give it that. But yeah, if you watch some of Shroud's stuff to like get a feel for it, he plays a lot of stuff. Cool. He plays a lot of Siege as well. So if you play Rainbow Six Siege, you watch him do that, and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck is this man doing?
How can you do that?
How did he punch through the wall? I didn't think that was part of the game, but he figured out a way to do it. It's ridiculous. So we probably should have got to this sooner.
Yeah, I think we've been deliberately putting it off because
2 hours in.
Yeah, 2 hours in. I think we even had a conversation and during a kind of technical break to really decide if we want to talk about this. But I think we
need to, since
we
we
need
put it
to
at the
address
start,
it. We need to.
Since it's been such a big part of internet culture for the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's been very intertwined into the Twitterverse and particularly YouTube with people putting their opinions up on it.
Yeah.
And if you are even exposed to the anime sphere, which I am, and you're heavily in the middle of,
balls deep, baby.
Yeah, balls deep on that anime sphere, Dick.
Yeah. The anime community has been in uproar for the last couple of days, and this, I mean, it centers around Vic Mignogna, who is a voice actor who was a big part of Ruby as Crow, and this all started when Rushdie said that they were removing him from Ruby, and they would no longer be associating with Vic Mignogna. Now the post was almost that's almost word for word. That was like 30 words tops. There is no exact information as to why this is happening, but a lot of people think it's because of the allegations against him as being like misbehaving at cons. I'm going to put that out there as misbehaving because it gets a bit weird. It keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder. Sorry, who's saying the phrase? It gets weird when a lot in the next half an hour, but you have allegations dating back 15, maybe even almost 20 years at this point, about him being inappropriate at cons. So conventions where he meets fans, being a bit too close, a bit too touchy-feely, and he has actually been at a convention since this all broke, and he has apologised if his forward hugging manner comes across as inappropriate, because he's an older guy. He's in his 50s. He's from a previous generation. He's not used to kids these days, which are totally different from kids, even from our generation, to 20 years before that.
Yeah.
It's like almost a different species at this point, like on a social level. We're a different species.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a good way to put it.
And where it gets kind of squirrely is people looking at these interactions and seeing them as being almost sexual harassment. Now, it's a weird term that we're not 100% on saying definitely sexual harassment. Like, there's some stuff like grabbing body parts. That would be sexual harassment. Hugging, kissing,
there's a lot
cheeks, like...
again, there's a lot of stuff that could be construed as sexual harassment, sexual abuse, if it was if the person felt like it was carried out in that way. But from what I've seen, and again, I've not looked in depth into this, purely because there's nothing concrete yet. Yeah. There's accounts, there's statements, there's hearsay, he said, she said, there's tons of that. And I've not looked into it because there's been nothing concrete yet.
And it's a shit show and it's not worth
and it's just a chaos machine, right? Just things bouncing off the walls. But I've not seen anything from witness accounts, from other people's accounts, and there have been a few fairly well-known voices speaking up saying, no.
Well, there's been a few... There's a lot of these little incidents that are inappropriate touching, inappropriate interactions with Vic over the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm like, okay, those are uncomfortable. Sorry you feel that way. Really hope it doesn't happen to anyone again.
Yeah.
And it seems like Vic has at least publicly said he's taking those lessons to heart. At that point, I'm like, okay, maybe we can forgive and forget and move on. There are more serious accounts that come forward from pretty big names.
Yeah. A lot
Verified Twitter users that are in the voice acting community and the cosplay
very
community.
vocal on both sides. People saying, obviously, people have seen if you're attuned to this in any way, shape, or form, you've seen the Kick Vic or hashtag I Stand With Vic on Twitter. Some big names coming up on both sides. Particularly more so for the Kick Vic. I think at this point Kick Vic has more of a force behind it.
We'll get to where that comes in later. Later on. This, by the way, should be a quick segment. It's not going to be. We keep saying this will be 5 minutes. It won't be 5 minutes.
I only intended to talk about Kingdom Hearts for about 5 minutes, but I'm pretty sure I had about half an hour there. So
yeah. But there's a lot of pushback from people who are fans of Vic, and I understand where that's coming from, because of how Todd Habercorn gets involved with this, because he has an allegation against him where after a night of drinking, he had sex with someone who was involved in the Vic Mignogna thing, and now because they're both drunk, there's the question of, was their consent actually legitimate if both parties are drunk? It's a lot of very grey areas around very big moral and ethical questions. Like, people smarter than us should be debating this. Like, I would want to see a panel of judges like the US Supreme Court debate that, and then see another trial of judges debate their debate. And then maybe we can get, like, after 3 or 4 layers of judges, we can get to some kind of actual understanding of where this should be, because it's a really weird, complex issue. I'm like, that's too much. Yeah. I'm just going to leave that to the side and come back to it later. But then it's just, like, with his accounts, the several people are accounting for on the Kick Vic side is there are actual assaults taking place that weren't reported to the police, and that seems to be a huge issue with the people who support Vic, who are his fans, who are like, why didn't you report this? Where's your police report? Where's your evidence? Yeah. So,
and with those ones, it's going to be a lot more difficult to prove, because they could have, they could tip the balance. They could they could help this investigation, because I think it has proceeded into a full blown investigation at this point. They're looking properly.
The question is by who, though?
Yeah. I was just asking if has it progressed into an investigation, or?
Well, the thing is that Rooster Teeth dropped them, and we don't know why. I floated the theory earlier. He had a contract that was up, and Rooster said not worth the risk.
Yeah, no point in renewing that contract.
And the reason I think not worth the risk is that he has all these allegations of prior misbehaviour, and Rooster Teeth are fanatically devoted to their fans, especially at the live conventions. To put it into context, there was a first RTX London about 2 years ago, and Rooster Teeth were receiving a bit of feedback. Not like it was negative feedback, but it was sincere, like, it's taking me too long to get through security. Because it was just after... It was after, like, a famous terrorist attack. I'm trying to remember what it was. I'm trying to remember if it was there was like a football game. You could hear the explosions. I think it might have been not long after Bataclan, the Queens of the Stone Age gig that got shot up, and they decided to put an extra security.
I remember what you're talking about, because even in Scotland we kind of felt an increased security, because you couldn't go into any train station in the likes of Edinburgh or Glasgow or any other place out of the train station without armed bobbies being walking about. And as someone who's never really seen live ammunition before, that was fucking scary. Like, police officers that I'd known from in Falkirk were just walking about Edinburgh police station, just going, oh, how's it going, like with an MP5 strapped to their chest.
Yeah, it was an escalation in security across the UK, and
for good reason.
Pretty reasonable. But there was the...
Who gives a fuck if your train was delayed by 40 minutes?
You didn't die today.
Are you still breathing? Thank you.
Take the hit. But they had increased security, and part of the complaint was, it's taking me too long. There was not enough security machines, trying to process a couple thousand people. So the Rooster Teeth went out and got more. Like, they went and hired a private security firm to help boost the numbers and, like, get a couple more machines, double the, like, through time to get through security lines, to, like, do metal detectors and stuff, just to make things faster, because that's... The image of RTX is phenomenal. It's a convention where thousands of your friends all hang out. That's the idea. That's what they're selling. Kind of hard to have that image.
Yeah, they
when
need
you
to
have a suspected predator, I guess.
Yeah, someone who's had that many allegations laid at their feet. It's hard to put forward that they're the company that cares for their fans when
you have that guy walking around.
Yeah, when they have that guy who's suspected of attacking fans.
Yeah.
And suspected to have used certain forms of conduct towards fans.
Yeah.
You can't be that squeaky clean image or that like kind of like you've heard the phrase the sort of sanguine or sanguine vision of motherhood. You can't be that kind of pure vision of we care about the fans if you have who's been touted as the literal devil right now.
Yeah,
because I think
it's not even like the reason he's the devil now is because this all kicked off because Rooster Teeth were done with him and they put him aside and they cast him aside and said we're done.
Yeah, you're too much of a risk.
This is not worth the risk. I mean, he's great in Ruby. Crow has been a fantastic character, especially the last couple of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
They are just starting to deal with the fact that he's an alcoholic. He is drinking constantly on screen, and his nieces are like, "You need to stop, Uncle Crow. We love you, but you're in fucking trouble.
All right,
cut it out."
So do you think they'll keep that character in, or just totally
Crow
cut
will still be there?
All right, cool. They're just getting a new actor.
Yeah. I'm sorry. To the I Stand With Vic people, he's not coming back from this one.
Yeah, I think Rooster Teeth have cut ties. If he comes out of this clean, he's not going back to Rooster Teeth, and it'll be surprising if he goes back to Funimation clean after, having a day.
This thing is, I've only seen one show confirmed that he's been recast. I don't know how much stuff he's working on with Funimation right now. There are actually partner studios that are willing to still work with him, saying that because this is all allegations, they'd rather wait and see it out. And that's where the majority of the opposition to Kick-Vic comes from, is the fact that there has been no due process. There has been no court case.
There's been no investigation.
There might have been internal investigations by Rooster Teeth and Funimation. And at that point they've said, we're done. Or we're moving off these projects, or just in Rooster Teeth's case, we're just done with you.
Yeah.
But we won't see those results. We won't see that investigation results. And that's where a lot of the senior voices on Kick-Vic come in. Because they have, I think it was one I'm going to read from Chris Sabat later on. But there was one from Pro
Chris Sabat has stepped forward?
Mm-hmm.
I have not read that. That will need to be sent on to me.
He stepped forward to, not to accuse, but to
shed some light.
To shed some light on the fact that you will not see all the light. But
alright, so he's not stepping forward to damn or... Yeah.
No, he's pretty damning.
Alright, he's stepping forward to point the finger, but he's also saying you're not going to see everything, but this is what I know.
It's not to say, it's just to point out the fact that the fans won't see, but I'll read that to you.
Yeah, cool.
But the point that I think it's Pro ZD made.
Song 1.
Yeah, Song 1. Yeah. He said, is like the fact that you have all these people stepping forward, professionals, people with stuff on the line, people with skin in the game, to say, I believe the victims of this. This is a believable thing that's happened, and the fact that you have decades of this going on and no counter argument.
Yeah.
Does that not say enough? Does that not warrant concern from people supporting Vic? And I'll just get Sabat's quote now.
That kind of thing, even that's probably the right thing to do. Right thing to do. Sungwon is Pro ZD, for those who don't know. I found out his real name, and I think his real name is so fucking cool. I never want to say his
Sungwon Cho. Yeah.
Sungwon Cho. It's a name.
Have you seen his video about how to pronounce his name?
Yeah. People never get it.
Sungwon? No.
Someone. No, Sungwon. But his response is probably the right thing. It's just, this warrants investigation, because I'm choosing to interpret it that he's not saying, right, get rid of him. He's not saying this. Like, surely that should be enough of an alarm bell for those who are in support of Vic to think, maybe, like, no smoke without fire, basically. Yeah. He's trying to say, think about it. And I think that's the correct way to look at it. Just don't go in thinking, no, he's completely pure, or don't go in and say that guy's dirty as fuck.
Yeah.
Look into things, read into it, form your own opinion.
Yeah.
And I think that's the right way to do it. That's the only way this gets resolved in any way, shape, or form that's going to have a good outcome for either side. If people just read into it and actually get to the bottom.
Yeah, that's actually, that viewpoint informs my own in a big way.
Yeah.
Because when I look at it, I think, how much smoke does there need to be in a room before you
start yelling fire?
Before you start yelling fire.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing of, like, US has freedom of speech, and one of the limitations is defamation.
Yep.
So that's why I'm being very careful, and why I think people should be a lot more careful with what they say about what's going on in this situation.
It's cool. I'm essentially a lawyer. I have qualified privilege. I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Does the microphone have qualified privilege?
I do, and I'm using the mic. The mic is an extension. I don't own the mic, so that could screw me over.
Yeah. The mic is being paid for by the client, so this is making trouble right now.
I will be quiet now.
We shall all be quiet.
I will make fart noises to distract it.
The remaining 30 minutes of the podcast will now be silent as we contemplate the legal issues.
As I write up the contract to make us to exculpate any liability.
Yeah. But part of those, one of the limitations that was put on it, and it was part of, I think it was like a Supreme Court case that said, you can't yell fire in a crowded theatre because you risk hurting other people. Take that metaphor forward. How much smoke does there need to be in a crowded theatre before you can yell fire?
Yeah.
And I'm at the point where I'm like, there is way too much smoke in this room.
Yeah.
20 accounts that could be plausibly said to be harassment or inappropriate contact, and then some cases of downright assault.
Yeah.
On not con-goers, but female colleagues, I guess we'd say. People in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, I'd say colleagues or people
Peers.
in the industry. Peers, yeah, that's the word. Peers, that's better.
But yeah, Chris Sabbath's point was made because at the start of this, there was a lot of people saying that there was people bandwagoning on. And one of the ones that's come up is Monica, the voice of Bulma.
Yeah.
Monica Rial.
Yeah.
Hasn't been handling it great, but
No.
has more skin in the game than anyone, because she is saying that she's been a victim of a similar assault before.
Yeah.
She hasn't said it's specifically been Vic, I don't think.
Yeah, I think she came out and said she's not willing to admit who it was, but she has had experience with this before. I don't think it was anything to do with Vic Mignogna.
No.
But obviously we can't say for sure, but she
had been that, she would have said it. But
yeah, she would have.
Now,
I think she wasn't holding back at all, but she's not handled it in the correct way.
Yeah, she hasn't done very well in doing the PR side of this, and I think that's why you'll have noticed, if you follow this story, people are sort of lawyering up, including Vic, including Monica, and understandable because there are threats now flying from the I Stand With Vic people. So far, I've seen them directed at Monica Rial, saying that because she's been such a rabble-rouser in this case,
she did put out some questionable tweets saying, I think it was something along the lines of, I have experienced this before, and I have seen him, directly hinting at Vic, saying, I have seen him do things like this before, and I thought, surely if you're going to do that, you wouldn't do it on Twitter.
Yeah.
And B, you wouldn't just, that's baseless.
Well,
it's a risky move to do it unless you had concrete evidence.
Well, the thing is, with her one as well, she's also said, somebody said, why didn't you say anything to Vic? Somebody responded with that. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah, that's going to help.
Real helpful. And she responded with, I did twice. Nothing changed. So at that point, I'm like, she's just frustrated. She's been in this industry for about 20 years with Vic, seeing this happen, and notices that 20 years later, still going down the same way.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of people saying that the voice actors were being way too white knighty and bandwagoning to try and get good boy internet points. Not really what's going to happen, considering the volatile response that they get from half their fans, who say, "Where's the evidence?" Which I'll go back to in a minute, because I don't like that phrase. I've talked to you about that earlier.
Where's the evidence?
Yeah, where's the evidence?
Yeah.
Like, but a testimony of that person assaulted me is evidence.
Yeah.
What you're looking for is corroborative evidence, or like supportive, or like fact checking.
Yeah,
you want a second piece of evidence.
Yeah, you want a second account.
Yeah.
Basically, you're not wanting one. You're wanting two pieces of evidence, one that backs up the first one.
Yeah,
you just basically want the whole thing to be corroborated,
which is reasonable. But
then again, at what point do you stop? Because one person gives an account that gets corroborated, but the second account, like, there's no
need the one. If we can get one, that's one proven case.
Yeah,
and at that point, he has done it. Therefore, bye bye.
Yeah.
But it's more to do with. There's a lot of people yelling, "Where's the evidence?" Well, that testimony is the evidence.
Yeah.
Could we start at least asking for corroborative evidence?
Yeah.
Because it opens up a huge hole in people's argument. Because they can say, like, the amount of times I've seen this weird feedback loop of, the weird feedback loop of this happened. What's your evidence? Well, the person saying that is evidence. And then the citizen says, that is evidence. They say, no, where's the real evidence? Where's the facts? And you're like, I know what you want.
What's bugging me is that people are assuming that evidence means I have pictures, I have, recordings. No, evidence is me saying, Colin Graham is wearing a red t-shirt right now. Like, where's the evidence?
Dom can see me and Dom can recount that.
People want,
But if that was to go to court for slandering me for wearing a red t-shirt, for I'm clearly wearing a blue t-shirt, I say, Dom Anderson has misjudged my character, represented me and defamed me in public on the internet, which I edited and then uploaded, but didn't censor for some reason.
I think even the judge would just go, dude, it's your fucking fault.
Shut the fuck up. Get out of my court. But if that went and happened, if you said, Colin is wearing a red t-shirt, and I say, I am wearing a blue t-shirt, we go to court about this, you go and stand and you say, I saw Colin Graham wearing a red shirt. It's in my affidavit of what happened, my statement to the police, and all that, and this is a legally signed document, and I'm willing to stand by this testimony in court. My lawyer comes to you and starts interrogating you, cross-examining you, being like, are you sure? How's your eyesight doing? You wear glasses. Any colour correction? Any issues there with colour? And you can just start picking apart your evidence. It's still evidence, but it gets picked apart.
Yeah.
It's not the same as forensic evidence or photographs.
Yeah,
but it is still evidence. Give that little bit of respect.
That's the thing. I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head there. People don't realise that statements and witness testimonies are probably the most common form of evidence. Mm-hmm. But people want DNA. People want fucking forensics. People want external fucking evidence. You saying this is his footprint on the outside of my step, and whenever it was at this time, and it's his exact shoe, and this is his exact shoe size. It had to have been him, and his fingerprints are on the brick outside my door. People want that because you're never going to get that shit. Take the testimony for what it is as a piece of fucking evidence.
Yeah. If you want corroborative evidence, that's fine. But remember, you're looking for another word in there that people just... the language being used is very stunted in these conversations. And it's quite frustrating to read. Because I'm banging my head against a brick wall here. I'm trying to read through all the shit you guys have put out there. Trying to talk about this issue. Because it's a big issue. And it does have implications. And there is a lot of moral and ethical questions that need to come up now because of this.
Yeah.
The people wording it, though, are really bad at it. And if you notice, there's a lot of people who are keeping very quiet.
Yeah.
A lot of people who, big anime YouTube channels aren't talking about this. Mid-tier ones are. The little ones are.
Yeah, the sort of smaller...
People looking for views and subscribers are.
Yeah, but that's probably because the bigger anime channels have probably met Vic Mignogna, and they probably might know something more. They've probably been...
Yeah.
Maybe the lawyers can get to them just a bit too quickly, so they've just kept quiet.
I think the big YouTube channels look at it and say, I am not getting involved in that shit show.
Yeah, that's probably the more logical thing. They've probably just seen it and thought, no, it's to go back to a phrase used earlier, it's just a chaos machine. I'm not putting my foot in that pool.
But the Chris Sabat tweet that I did point out, and this is why we're kind of going to keep this short and we're going to end it pretty soon. I don't have much more to say.
Yeah. I got my weird ass showstopper.
Looking forward to this one. He described it as weird, and I'm like, what's this going to be? But the tweet that makes me think that we're not seeing the end of this, and this was a couple of days ago, but there's still not being anything concrete to come out of any company, no big statements or anything, was that it was responding to somebody saying that the voice actors are bandwagoning on the situation for social media hype. Not something Chris Sabat needs. That man could post a tweet of a piece of cardboard.
Yeah,
and it'd probably get about 10,000 likes.
Yeah, pretty much. The guy's well liked. He doesn't even need to tweet a picture of a piece of cardboard. He just needs to tweet a picture of a wall and just says, look where I am. Guaranteed 10,000 likes on it.
Yeah. By VAs going crazy, you mean VAs supporting the victims and sharing their own experiences? Because that's not going crazy. That's called being honest. You should probably pay close attention to them because those are the people who actually know what's going on. And that's where it leaves me with the idea that how fucked up is the situation around cons, conventions, these kind of rock star personalities that come along, that you have almost accepted rules that it's not what's happening is possibly illegal, but we just turn a blind eye to it. How is that acceptable? How is that the thing that we just kind of will hush it under the carpet?
Yeah. It's something that I've been thinking about. I get that voice actors, maybe to the average punter, they won't be seen as the big celebrity, but in the anime sphere, they are seen as as the big guy. So maybe it's a sense of, right, we want to keep the talent happy, we'll try and sweep this away. But I think nowadays there needs to be less of that and more of a sense of, right, the sense of accountability. Just, we've seen you do that. Police are getting involved. There's no way to do that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it is now the shitty job of our generation to fix the crap that happened in previous generations.
Yeah.
Because this, let's not mince words. This shit happened tons before. Weinstein shit.
Yeah.
It's now at the forefront in our generation as dudes in our late 20s.
Yeah.
This shit's going to come forward and it's going to be our generation's problem, or our generation's problem, and our problem to fix. And all it takes going forward to stop it is just people being held accountable. People putting their hand up and saying, "Nah, I don't care if you're the talent. I don't care if you're the big star attraction at this convention. You cannot do that." There needs to be more of a safety net around it.
Yeah.
Like protect the. Again, you're not we're both fans of the whole Me Too movement. People coming forward, people sharing their experiences. The people that are suffering this, fair enough. If it does come out that they're telling lies, fair enough. But listen to them in the first place. They might have something to say. Let them say it. The worst thing that could happen is they share a harrowing experience, and it might just be something that they weren't comfortable with. Fair enough. It might not be criminal, but still, they have that experience off their chest. Hopefully, something good can come out of that
person in the long run.
Exactly. It can only be helpful. And if the right people do the right thing, the offenders, the people doing the wrong thing, will have justice served on them.
Yeah.
And that just creates that big, nice, safety bubble at conventions, because that means people are going to go to conventions, they're going to have fun. And conventions, particularly nowadays, are areas where people need to go and feel safe, because shit can go down at a convention. We've seen multiple conventions where people show up with the intention to just mess it up, the intention to hurt people. Yeah. Conventions need to be safe spaces, and I'm not a fan of the word safe space because reality is the thing. Yeah. But conventions need to be safe zones where you can just meet up with your friends, talk anime bullshit for 6 hours, eat overpriced burgers and hot dogs and pizzas, and then go home and come back the following day and do it all over again.
Yeah.
They don't need to worry about, I met Tommy Wiseau and he grabbed my ass. In fact, to be fair, if you did meet Tommy Wiseau, he probably would grab your ass.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a weird dude, but if that's going to make you feel uncomfortable, you don't want that.
Yeah. That should not be, and it shouldn't be a concern at a con either. You
shouldn't be going to a con and thinking, well, I'm going to meet Johnny Young Bosch. What's the chance that he's going to do something that makes you feel uncomfortable? It should be just a kind of straight line. This is the kind of conduct you should expect at a con. This is how comfortable you should feel. And I think now, after this, regardless of the outcome with Vic, you're going to see that. You're going to see a definite tilt in the attitude of con celebrities, where they're going to say, are you okay with a pose, or are you okay if I put my hand around you, or are you okay if I maybe do something that you might feel uncomfortable with.
I don't like seeing the situation go down at all.
No,
it's been really horrific. You're like, wow, this is a lot of people's childhoods. This is a lot of mixed emotions about a person you have idolised and loved for so long because of what they've done for the community and what they've done for the kind of performance given by VAs. Yeah. He's one of the first to make it great. Yep. As opposed to just being shitty 80s dubs where it's really people just trying and recording through a soup can. Yeah.
People up in a treehouse.
And it's gonna be hard to see how this one figures out. I want to just give people the space to get the stories out so we can look at all this and say
yes. I kind of want to look at this thing when it's all, because obviously there's no way that we can look into the future and see when will this end, but I just want to wait until everything comes out and just look at it then, because right now we're going off little shreds and little pieces that people have said.
When I look at this, my main theory is, have you noticed no one on the professional side is standing with Vic at this point?
Yeah,
that's my main thing.
Originally, right,
that's what hints to where this is going. But at the same time, I want to hear all of it out on the table. Yeah. All cards. Let's have a look and see what everybody's got, and then we can make a judgment call.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. When I first seen this, my initial thought was, and again, it's because I'm a stupid man, I originally thought, oh well, it's just people that are maybe feeling a bit uncomfortable, that maybe they've misconstrued something. I originally thought that's just what it'll be. It'll all blow over. Then, like Colin did, I started reading into things. I was like, okay, maybe there's more to this than meets the eye, and I'm kind of glad that I did a bit more reading, because if I went with that initial thought with, I stand with Vic, because I don't think I stand with Vic, but I don't, I'm not going for kick Vic either. I'm in that neutral space where I'm just gonna.
I stand at the side and say, what the fuck is going on with Vic Mignogna?
I'm just standing at the sidelines going, right, okay, neither side have any evidence, anything substantial to say.
I hope this situation gets better. I hope it gets better fast, because it's really toxic right now. There's a lot of shit, and I hope it's not affecting your day, because I'm not gonna lie, reading this, I've probably sank about, I'm just gonna put the number out as saying 8 hours over the course of this week. Most of it being a 5-hour deep dive on what was initially going to be the story, and as it just became more twisted and labyrinthine, and there was subterfuge, and there was weird stuff going on with different accounts, try to fuck over the other side and make false statements, and just weird shit happening. I'm like, all of this is just a total mess.
Yeah.
But at this point, we're just gonna wait and see what happens. So
yeah, definitely, it's not something that's going to resolve itself immediately. This is going to be an ongoing thing, and I don't think we're probably going to see a result until maybe way into the mid-year, talking summertime, before we actually see anything concrete coming out of this.
I don't know if we ever will. That's my thing. Do these practical things, people are saying, oh, you need to have where's the due process, where's all this?
Yeah.
Anyway, well, first of all, that's due to court, and these are private companies, they can do what they want, which would leave them open to possibly unfair dismissal lawsuits, which might be on the way, given the fact that Vic's lawyered up. So, where do we go from here? We don't know, but the thing is, these private companies have no obligation to publish their findings. If they've held an internal investigation, which I think's happened, I think there's no way these companies are moving in such a big way without doing some research.
If they've looked into this in any way, shape or form, they don't need to then say to the public, this is what we found, because I guarantee if they did find something, because Vic's lawyered up, he will say, you can't release that to the public.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. That would actually probably be the start of a good defamation lawsuit.
Probably be a few NDAs signed on both sides. This is going to come out, but you keep it between the affected parties and the defendant.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it does not leave this room. And at that point, contempt of court comes in, and contempt of court for anyone who breaches it gets in pretty nasty.
Yes.
It's hella nasty.
Especially when you're involving leaking personal information and documents and reports.
Yeah.
That becomes a huge issue. But I mean, all the best to women who are coming forward with these stories. I mean, they're not being received well. It's unfortunate that there's a backlash. Yeah. There's people saying, oh, why don't women come forward with these stories when they happen?
It's because fear is a thing.
Have you look at the backlash, something look at any of the statements of women involved in Kickvic, and then just scroll down a couple pages. Yeah, and
you get all the venomous comments from little, trolls and goblins that just say, oh, he's a good guy. Well,
that's the one that gets me the most, is the kid with the anime profile pic that says, well, I met Vic at a convention once and he was nice to me. Will you shut the fuck up? The grown-ups are talking.
Yeah, I mean, I've met Vic Mignogna as well, and I'm now seriously considering, hiding my signed copy of the Broly Blu-rays. I met him, he was a nice guy. It wasn't the fact that he was, quite a skinny guy, and I could probably, if he did try something, I'd throw him out the fucking window.
Yeah.
But no, he was a nice guy to me. But I've also met Johnny Young Bosch, and he was a complete dick to me. I was completely disappointed. I was like, but Canada. Apparently he was a lovely guy to everybody else, but he seen me and just thought, this guy.
I just, all the best to the people involved in this, try to explain what is going on.
Yeah, and those who are on both sides, just pull your head out your ass and let it happen. Don't downplay one side. Just the way that this gets resolved is if both sides kind of step back and let the process happen.
And if he's innocent, he's innocent.
Yeah, and if he's guilty, he'll get what's coming to him. It'll all come out in the wash.
I guarantee that one.
Yeah.
So that's our take on the Vic Mignogna situation. It's so toxic. I'm probably not going to involve the Vic Mignogna tag.
No, I looked into it on Twitter, and it's just
I tag podcasts for searchability.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to
do
mention
not put
nope
hashtag Vic Mignogna on that.
Especially because if anybody comes out and going like, okay, time to hear what these people think of Vic Mignogna and attack them for it. Imagine waiting 2.5 hours to think we just sit there and go, just wait and see.
Yeah, just wait and don't be a dick.
Yeah. But I gotta be honest, that for me was therapeutic because it's been a weird ride reading through all this stuff, and I'm really glad I'm at the end of it now.
Yeah.
Not looking forward to seeing how this one turns out, but actually getting off the chest, because like the research about this was like ridiculous. 1,500 words. It took me 4 hours to write that. I studied advanced higher English. I can write that in about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
The fact that I put that much effort into it was fucking mind blowing. I haven't written that much, like put that much effort and intensity into that type of thing in a long time. Missed it though. Kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's one thing that people always say, "Oh, I hate doing coursework." In uni, I'm always of the mindset that I kind of like it, just because I like.
I think you enjoy the.
I just like doing research and stuff. Yeah. I love. I don't know what it is. I love doing research.
You love piecing the puzzle.
Yeah.
Putting the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah. So
before your showstopper, piss break.
Sure.
Showstopper. So, with that unpleasantness out of the way, showstopper time.
Showstopper time. This time I have the showstopper. It's a weird.
Dom found some kinky shit.
A weird switcheroony. It's not kinky shit.
Aw.
Do you know who Jose Canseco is?
No.
Right. Jose Canseco is a very, very well-known baseball player in America.
Okay.
Don't ask me what team he played for, because I literally just found this dude's Twitter last week, and it has been a joy to behold.
Does it say like which team is? I might try and guess where it's from.
Hmm?
Like what the team name is. Don't tell me the city, but I'll try and guess the city.
Hold on, I'll look through his... No, it's got pictures of his baseball cards.
Alright.
But it doesn't have anything to do... It doesn't say... Wait, hold on, I have one picture. Oh, he used to play in Oakland.
Okay, right.
For a team called the Oakland Athletics. So, yeah.
Creative name there.
Creative name, yeah. He's really busting the creative bank on that. Hold on. Ah, crap, it's left me. God damn it, Jose Canseco. But anyway, Jose Canseco is a former Major League Baseball player that turned golfer, tried, did a whole lot of different things. He went from Major League Baseball to boxing, got in a whole load of trouble for taking steroids. But now...
Well, he is a baseball player.
Yeah, dude's huge, and not natural huge. Like, everything just looks swollen as he's gotten older. But did you know that Jose Canseco is also the technological prophet of our time?
No, I did not know.
Right.
Like
Jose Canseco tweeted these 6 tweets on the 30th of January 2019. Buckle up, it's going to be fun. The first tweet: we are in communication with aliens with a very flexible body composition called the AL51. Okay. These aliens... Second tweet: these aliens are going to teach us how to try and travel. The brain... These aliens are going to teach us how to try and travel. The brain can physically travel without the body. Aliens have been trying to teach us how to time travel, but the first thing we have to change is our body composition, which we are not willing to do. We have tried with animals and it has failed. Time travel puts 42,651 pounds. Fucking hell, why can't I say that? 42,651 pounds of pressure on a human skeletal structure. Can you detach the brain from the body and equalise the pressure? It could be done. The 6th tweet is: our science is totally irrelevant to aliens.
That starts with Jose Canseco got that good weed. Like, he got that good shit.
Oh, this is...
and it ends with the truth. Because the thing is, if there is an alien race that can even just travel across the galaxy, our technology is primitive, barbaric, and useless.
On the 3rd of February...
Oh god, it gets worse.
No, there's more. He tweeted recently. On the 3rd of February, he used his time travel powers. I just time travelled into the future. Rams win 27-20.
I got bad news for you about your prediction there. I watched that game, and I wish the score was that high. But no.
On the 7th of February.
Put down the good weed. Canseco, put down the good weed.
Cloning is illegal. That's why we cannot evolve into our next stage. Once cloning is legal, we will be able to purchase either bodies of ourselves in our prime, and once our shells get too old, detach the brain and then apply to a new shell of the new shell or body. In 50 years from now, only the rich will be able to purchase a new body. New bodies will come with with optional android or robotic moving parts. This one is pure brilliance. Like he's just said this like he's checked the weather. I've just figured out a way to live an extra 30 years.
And just no follow-up tweets after that.
Nope, he's got more. He's got more. Apparently this was a big way. This is a big day for him. One of the many ways you can live an extra 30 years is that you have to sleep in almost freezing temperatures. I should be fucking immortal. I always sleep with the window open and like.
I know where he's read that. I know where he's getting that from. No, not where he's read that specifically, but I know where he's getting that theory from.
One other way to live 30 years longer is we are taking in too much food. Cut down your food intake by half.
I feel like this guy is just going through reading the most conspiratorial websites of all time.
And his final tweet, another way to live 30 years longer is you must have sex at least 3 times a week.
Okay, that one's just desperate.
Yep. That's why Jose Canseco is the prophet of our time.
So the being cold thing, and the is probably due with the fact that like if you have an animal that lives at a lower temperature, like it's evolved to live there, its metabolism is slower, it dies slower. In a way.
Yeah.
So you would live longer, and I guess somebody's done some math that he believes that if you were to take a human body, train it to live at a colder temperature, it would be it would live longer. But that just poses the question: why are there not 150-year-old Eskimos just dicking about the place? Interesting. The tweets about like taking the brain out and making a shell that you can just jump between like the robot parts.
Yeah,
totally right. Like that will be a thing that happens if we can find a way to take the human consciousness out and we can put it into a robot body. Fucking right, I'm jumping ship.
But you have to admit, putting this shit on Twitter just seems that way of like I need to be relevant again. I also missed a tweet, by the way.
Okay.
She said, "Wow, what a lousy game! What a lousy game! Those guys should be ashamed of themselves. I'm taking the alien off the payroll."
Okay. I'm guessing he was watching the Super Bowl.
Could be.
Probably. I'm having to drink my way through these thoughts, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
There's a lot of Jack Daniels in this glass, and none of it's helping. Right. So the time traveling thing.
Oh, don't try and figure it out.
That's what's fascinating to me. Is like I have an acute measurement of how much pressure is put on the human body by time travel.
Oh yeah, it's like 42,651 pounds of pressure that's put on a human skeletal system.
I was listening to Jorgen's interview with Brian Cox. He was talking about black holes.
Yeah.
Okay. 42,000 pounds of pressure wouldn't cover if you were to go through a time travel, which could, or go through like a black hole, which could affect your relationship with time. I wouldn't call it time travel. You're just mostly getting fucked up. If I'm right on roughly the math, 42,000 pounds of pressure wouldn't, like, your pinky fingernail would get more pressure if you went through a black hole. And that's the closest we think we might be able to get to punching a hole through space-time travel. So his number's a little off. That's my first thing. But even then, like that black hole thing is just like, maybe it works. Fuck it, we don't know. I mean, the black holes break so much laws of physics. Why not have them be the time travel thing? Everything else in there is just fascinating.
Yep.
I wish I could be that high/drunk. That I'm just like, I got it figured out, guys.
Guys, just look, we need to take our brains out our bodies so we could put them in new robot bodies, but only the rich will be able to buy the new robot bodies. Give me back my beer.
And guys, it's not like you just crack a skull open. No. I'm talking about the mind. So you gotta
We need to put a needle in the forehead and bring the mind out.
You just melt the body.
Like butter.
And the mind floats free.
No, guys, serious. We need to just get rid of our bodies and become beings of light.
You guys,
shut up, Dad.
You guys aren't taking me serious. Take me serious. Melt your body.
Science Authority of the US. Listen to me. I've got points to say. Got shit to say.
Everybody, be quiet.
guys. Got a thing to tell you. time travel. It's got revolutionised, but no, you can't use these shitty bodies. We need to take the brain out.
And then
I'm going to
robot bodies.
robot bodies, but only people that make over $10,000 a month, they can afford the robot bodies, and they'll have all Android parts.
Because you can pay me, and I'll make the robot bodies.
They'll be made out soup tins.
This sounds like remember the Teriology?
Teriology?
Do you remember what's his name? The guy who was in Iron Man 1 as the guy that becomes War Machine. Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard, yeah.
Terrence Howard made up a new form of math because he didn't think that 1 times 1 was 1. He thought it was 1 times 1 is 2.
But 1
and that all
times
math was wrong.
Okay. He just tried to disprove maths.
Yeah.
I'd like to put him in a room with Rachel Riley.
I'd like to put him in a
Rachel Riley has a fucking PhD.
I want to put him in a room with a basic 5-year-old. Even just one of the ones that dribbles a bit. I reckon that kid's about to like school someday. But no, he went on and was just on this tirade about how he made a new form of maths. This sounds like the same thing.
Maybe they have the same weed supplier.
He's got that good shit.
Yeah, he's got that good chronic.
Well, I mean, now that my brain's been entirely stopped, as it's trying to melt out into the future and the past simultaneously, I'll point out. I'm ambitious that way. I won't just settle for going to the future. Yeah. I think it's time we close the podcast.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've naturally reached a natural conclusion here.
Everything hurts. Why does my brain hurt?
More alcohol is needed.
So much more alcohol is needed. But we'll talk about that in the next episode of the Gibberpish Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Gibberpish, and you can email the podcast at gibberpishpodcast@gmail.co.uk.
Yep. It could be gmail.com. I can't remember.
Keep
Gmail.org because we're a government organisation.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. we're the department that's dealing with the time travel now.
Yeah. What I want to get is a t-shirt of the two of us in suits just saying Gibberpish Podcast, we're a government organisation. Then with the kind of Looney Tunes background.
Gibberpish Podcast, a government organisation, but don't ask the government about it.
Sponsored by Jose Canseco.
Sponsored by Jose Canseco's weed supplier. Yeah, I've been Colin Graham.
I've been Dom Anderson.
And we've been talking Gibberpish.
Maybe I've not been Dom Anderson. Maybe I travelled in time. Maybe maybe this body's been used by someone else.
Does that mean you're past Dom Anderson or future Dom Anderson?
Maybe I'm both at the same time.
Whoa.